Afadhali mzee ambaye ni mtulivu, ambaye hana haja ya kujaza mifuko yake, ambaye atachunga masilahi ya watu yake, badala ya mdomo tamtamu 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 tamtamu. Lakini akiingia ni wale wa kufanya moja yako, nusu ya mwananchi, mbili yako na tano yangu. Na mnawajua nyinyi
kutafuta uongozi kwa kutumia dini au kutumia kabila, unagawa watu. Kazi ya uongozi ni kujenga watu wawe kitu kimoja.
The 2.2 billion has been spent in the office of the president and State House between July and September. If you do that calculation, it means that we spend in that office 23 million per day and 1 million per hour. That cannot be sustainable.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunakaa kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako.
Nasikia watu wanasema baba ametusaliti. Between baba kutusaliti na sisi kusaliti baba, nani amesaliti mwingine?
Inapeangwa, it mostly goes to foreign ministries. So Baba is overqualified for that position.
To build this railways for Africa. So now he's thinking about tumemkataa kama baba wetu.
Unaweza kuwa kuna mtoto ulizaa, ukapatia nchi, ikuwa inamfanya vile inataka.
Uhuru has been working very hard. Ruto akaenda huko na nguvu. Ruto was never invited in the inauguration.
Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Sound Candid Talk.
Open Forum Political Discussion Show. The show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development.
Tukutane Sound Candid Talk.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Sorry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to meet you on this platform again, even as you join us on Sound Candid Talk, Open Forum Political Discussion Show. This is one show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, as everybody knows, the doctors are on strike in this country and patients are at pains not receiving necessary services. The public health service is on grinding to a halt in various places in the country. Well, one of the shocking realities that we are faced with is that the minister in charge of health Services, the Minister of Health, the CS Susan Nakhumicha, claims now that the doctor's strike is being sponsored by cartels. I don't know what to make out of this country, but some of the outrageous pronouncement by the people in authority are really sickening. Well, tonight we'll be looking at this. Where is the truth? Are doctors justified to go on strike? In my opinion, yes. When was the agreement signed for the doctors that has whatever pushed the doctors to go on strike? In 2017. Okay, the collective bargain agreed, signed by government. So we are talking about from 2017, today is 2024, and one person has the guts to get on national television and claim the doctors are going on strike because of cartels. Now we want to see, are these cartels an excuse of the incompetence of the CS or what is cooking? Another sad reality, 19 schools in North Baringo have been closed indefinitely. Why? Because of banditry. The security in the place can no longer be guaranteed. According to the reports, the bandits have taken over. Now, that is the same government that is claiming now it is able to lead the nation's mission to Haiti to quell the gangs that have taken over Haiti. I don't know what to make of this, but please, ladies and gentlemen, calling upon you, be on the forefront, invite somebody, remind somebody, let the whole world tune in and let us engage. As concerned Kenyans, something is out of joint in this country and we need to fix it urgently. If these are the mindsets and the kind of cabinet that is leading this country, no wonder we are where we are. This is, among other things, the rising road accidents and the lives we are losing. And then, of course, the political push and pull that is happening in various regions, all of it in the pretext of who is the kingpin. So we have our priorities upside down as a country. No wonder things are not moving as we expect. So karibu sana kila mmoja na kuomba tafadhali karibisha mtu, tumia link hii wala ambao mnaingia studio tukajadili masuala haya kwa kina, kwa sababu hili linaumiza moyo sana kwa kuwa yule minister ambaye ama waziri ambaye amepewa mamlaka ya kushughulikia masuala ya afya ya umma sasa anasema ni cartels zimeambia madaktari waende kwa strike. Hey, mimi naishiwa na nguvu. Naomba tafadhali nisaidie mahala pote ulipo, karibisha mtu tukamakinike pamoja, tutajifunza, tutaelimisha Wakenya, na naamini kwamba tutakuwa na msimamo ambao utaeleweka na kutakuwa na yeyote ambaye atasalia nyuma kwa mambo haya. Na wakaribisha nyote, tafadhali hakikisha kwamba wewe ndiye ambaye unasaidia channel hii kukua, kwa kuwa una karibisha wengi tu wajiunge na kipindi kisha wajifunze mawili matatu. Asante sana. Naomba tafadhali, asante wale ambao mnatujoin kwa TikTok, tuendelee vivyo hivyo, tufanye vile TikTok inahitaji tufanye, ili channel pia ikapate nafasi huko na tukajifunze kila siku wakati tunaongea na Wakenya wenzetu kwa masuala yanayogusia nchi hii. Welcome everybody. Let's be on the forefront. Let's do what we must do. Let's save the day. Let's make sure that we will be counted among those who did everything in their power to save their country. That we did not shy off calling what needs to be called back to order when it was necessary. So karibu kila moja, naomba tumakinike. Ni wasabai wawili watatu, link ya kuingia studio nishapeana. Na hoja ya leo tunazungumzia kuhusu CS Nakhumicha, anasema government cartels. Kwanza anasema government cartels, hizo ndio zina sponsor nini? Dr. Strike. Sijui wewe unaonaje? And then of course 19 Baringo schools closure. And of course there is also the financial crunch that is biting hard on the schools because the government has not released the capitation, or whatever that has been released is not sufficient to keep the students in school. And so we are crumbling with so much on the plate. I don't know where this will end, but I call upon us, let's talk, let's engage. This is Sound Candid Talk. Asante sana. Esther Stoll, karibu kwa show. Gideon Etimile, karibu kwa show. Asante sana. Olele TV, asante sana, karibu. Halima Hassan, karibu kwa show. Asante sana kwa kuwa hapa. Tunim Hamud, asante sana kwa kufika. Karibu kwa show. Willy Mwadilo, welcome to the show. Tatu Juma, anasema kubaya Kenya yetu tumeisha. Aya, karibu kwa show, asante sana. Naomba tafadhali tumakinike. Schools are closing early due to lack of collision funds. Yes. Now, who will accept to stay with hungry students in school? Who will accept to keep children in school when they cannot be taken care of? I think the school heads are justified to send the children back to their parents, because you will not sit with children who are hungry and then, of course, keep them there without control. That's another crisis in the whole thing. So I believe heads of schools have a right to ask the students to go back to their children, to their parents, and be able to get help from there. Well, I salute each one of you. We are live on Sound Candid Talk Facebook page, Sound Candid Talk YouTube channel, Sound Candid Talk live YouTube channel. We are on X as well as other sister channels. So tufuate tafadhali, hakikisha kwamba unamakinika kwa memba. Hiyo namba ya watazamaji imekwama hapo, naomba ikapande. Karibisha mtu, watu wa TikTok, tap the screen, invite somebody, remind somebody, let's all engage. This is where the whole conversation takes place, where Kenyans express themselves freely. And if you're following us on TikTok, you want to be on the mainstream, the main screen to share with the rest of Kenyans, there is a link in the bio to the YouTube channel that will take you directly to this live feed, where you will get the link to join the rest of Kenyans and share your sense. Or you can drop your comment in the comment section over there. Then we'll be able to read it out and let the rest of Kenyans understand what is happening. Bas, acha tuanze na hiyo story ya Nakhumicha anapodai kwamba anaonewa na si eti madaktari wana haki ya kwenda kwa strike, ni kwa kuwa wako sponsored. Oh God. Na cartels.
And Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakhumicha is now accusing cartels in government of sponsoring the ongoing doctors' strike, which entered its 10th day countrywide. This as over 200 doctors drawn from the Mount Kenya region vowed to down their tools and extend the ongoing industrial action until their demands are met. Seth Olale with the latest update on the medics' strike and its impact on innocent patients.
The leadership of the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, rallied over 200 doctors from Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Kiambu, Nyandarua and Murang'a counties in joining the ongoing doctor strike, which marked its 10th day countrywide. The medics, while attending the annual general meeting for the KMPDU Central Branch in Kirinyaga County, vowed to extend the industrial action until their demands are fulfilled.
The doctors have reaffirmed and reinforced their commitments to stay on the strike. Today is day 10. And we are not afraid to go to day 100s. We are not afraid to go to day 200s. We are not afraid to go to day 300 as long as the CBA is implemented.
The Kenya Obstetrical and Gynecological Society has warned of a looming healthcare disaster in the country if the government fails to honor the 2017 collective bargaining agreement.
As it is today, our what we call maternal mortality rates, that is how many women die out of every 100,000 women who deliver live births, is a very high number. It's about 355.
But even as doctors stay put, Health CS Susan Nakhumicha, who was in Trans Nzoia County, blamed the woes surrounding the health sector, including the ongoing doctor strike, on cartels in government.
Sai mimi nimefanya kazi ya afya mpaka kuna watu wamenionea wivu, wameanza kuleta nyenyenye. Lakini mimi nataka kuhakikishia ya kwamba mimi sai watu wameona vile napanga kazi yangu. Wale wezi walikuwa KEMSA, nimejua ndio wanasponsor maneno mengine. Wale watu walikuwa naiba NHIF ndio wanasponsor mambo mengine.
With no end in sight and failed talks between the government and medics, it appears patients seeking services in public hospitals will continue to suffer. Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
Haya mambo ni kama hayo. Umemsikiliza Nakhumicha ambaye ndio CS wa health, anasema ni cartels ambazo zina sponsor strike ya madaktari. Hapo ndio tunauliza hilo swali kwa poll question leo. Tunauliza kwamba, do you believe CS Nakhumicha that cartels are behind the doctors strike? So far 9 votes, 8 votes cast already on Sound Candy Talk Live. And of the 8 votes, 12% say yes, it is the cartels, and then 88% say no, it is just an excuse. What do you make of this? Let's check on this other channel and see what Kenyans are saying on the same issue. Do you believe CS Nakhumicha that it is cartels that are behind the doctors' strike and not genuine claims and genuine demands by the doctors themselves? Well, so far 23 votes cast on the main channel, and of the 23 percentages are 22 say yes, and 22% say yes, and 78% say no, it's just an excuse. Please make sure that you like the video before you cast your vote, and of course make sure that you read the question properly and respond to the same. I can see some people are voting abracadabra. It is important. We need to know exactly where your opinion is. Now, I want us to ventilate on this seriously. Doctors, do you think doctors as responsible healthcare providers, okay, will yield to the sponsorship of cartels to down their tools simply because the cartels wants them to do so? I don't know. In my opinion, the hardest people to put on the strike, I think, are doctors. And so I don't think people complaining about the collective bargain agreement of 2017 in 2024 are in it because of the demand by the cartels. I think, to me, Nakhumicha is playing politics instead of sanctioning solution to what is bedeviling her docket. And that is why I'm of the opinion she's incompetent and she needs to be kicked out of office. We need a competent minister for health, somebody we can bank on in getting right solution to the right problems that are bedeviling Kenyans, not playing in the gallery and making outrageous claims in funerals. We need a minister who can shoulder each and every one of the 56 plus million Kenyans as far as their health is concerned. So from where I sit, Susan Nakhumicha is just displaying her incompetence like her government that appointed her. And so excuse after excuse. We've been treated to this since the Kenya Kwanza administration took over, and they have not, I think they are yet to they have exhausted the list of who to blame for what has gone wrong with the country. Where I sit, I think we can do better than that. And that is, let's have round pegs in round holes, squared pegs in squared holes. This government has its priorities upside down. And then, of course, you know that we will be diving into the thorny issue of the closure of schools because of bandits. That is in the Ministry of Internal Security. And then, of course, agriculture is in trouble. Is in trouble that fake fertilizer is still around and distributed by government. Hey, this country, I pray that something serious will take place. So naomba tafadhali, karibu studio, wale ambao mnaingia, ebu link ya kutumia ni hii, inaonekana wengi hawaja amka ama watu wamechelewa. Naomba tafadhali, karibu studio kajadili ya kwako. Tunataka kusikia haya masuala yote. Okay, thank you. Okay, tuendelee. Naomba tafadhali tupeane maoni yetu na kwa masuala haya. Usikae mbali, hapa ndipo story nzima inapatikana. Kwa hivyo usikae mbali. This is Sound Candy Talk, and we're here to see to it that everything is put in perspective so that the propagandists and those who would love to deceive and deviate, divert the attention of Kenyans to trivialities will not succeed at the same. And so let's look at this keenly. Is CS Nakhumicha being sincere? Is she being responsible when she claims cartels are the ones behind the doctor's strike, when the doctors are striking for what the government has failed to do since 2017? Is that what can be said by a responsible CS? We need to get that done. And of course, it is your duty to see to it that you speak that. Okay, thank you very much. Naomba tafadhali tumakinike, karibu kwa studio. Inaonekana wengi tu, sijui leo wameenda wapi. Na hiyo namba watazamaji ipande, pandisha hiyo namba watazamaji. We are at around 60, please. Let's lift it, share the link. And of course, TikTokers, tap the screen and invite somebody, remind somebody. If you know somebody who enjoys this kind of conversation, please let them come in and let us look at what needs to be done. So let's switch gears. We'll be talking this extensively. We just be putting some highlights. And of course, let's look at the fake fertilizer syndicate. Police impounding over 560 bags of fake fertilizer. And you'll be shocked to know where they were and what was happening. Here we go.
We begin the bulletin with the latest fake fertilizer scandal, and detectives in Molo, Nakuru County have seized 560 bags of suspected counterfeit fertilizer that was set to be issued to farmers in the area. Molo Sub-County Police Commander Timon Odingo has confirmed that the consignment worth about 1.4 million shillings had been delivered to Molo National Cereals and Produce Board Depot, despite having been cancelled by Agriculture and Livestock Permanent Secretary Paul Rono on grounds that it did not meet the required standards. Now, the police have arrested one suspect who is set to be arraigned in court. The developments coming even as Agriculture CS Midika Linturi insisted that there was no cause for alarm. claiming that he has not received any official complaint about the existence of fake fertilizer in the market.
This truckload of 560 bags of fertilizer, which is being held at Molo Sub-County Police Headquarters in Nakuru County, was seized following reports that a suspected substandard fertilizer had been delivered to Molo National Cereals and Produce Board Depot for distribution to farmers.
Wakati walifika huko, walikuta kuna consignment which was supposed to come on 21st. Na hii ilikuwa natoka kwa factory inaitwa Chemicals huko Thika. Na ilikuwa iwe transported na watu ya MEMS distributors.
Police established that the consignment was delivered despite being cancelled by Agriculture PS Paul Rono on grounds that it did not meet the required standards.
Jana ilikuwa tarehe 22. So we knew there was no consignment that was supposed to come. So wakati tulipata habari ya kwamba kuna consignment imekuja na ni fake, tukaona something is fishy. So at the scene tulipata gari which came also from the same company inaitwa MEMS, but now the vehicle was KAZ 082B.
The driver of the truck, Joseph Mbote, has been arrested and is expected to be arraigned in the coming week. Police have also held the delivery note document of the fertilizer worth about 1.4 million shillings as they conduct further investigations. Similar investigations have also been launched in Koibatek sub-county in Baringo County, where police received reports from 2 farmers from Poror village who purchased a total of 34 bags of NPK fertilizer in March, which is said to be counterfeit, worth about 89,600 shillings.
Saa hii ni msimu ya mvua na tulikuwa tumetayarisha kila kitu na pesa ile tulikuwa naye ndio hiyo tumenunua naye mbolea yote.
Paka tumeshini mbolea tuteremsha bei ndio ikuwe mbolea mbaya ama namna gani? Ili tuleta hata mbolea 3,000 hata 4,000 tununue mbolea kitu amana.
The Sub-County Security Committee has since directed that 2,650 bags of fertilizer that had already been supplied to farmers be recalled.
Ni fertilizer ambayo inaonesha ndani kuna kokoto, kuna pipi ya mbuzi na pia kuna hii chumvi ya kusagia ng'ombe ambayo inalamba ni kama imesagiwa. Na we are doing investigation on that. Na tukithibitisha kama kulikuwa na ulaghai kuhusu hiyo mbolea, watu wataenda kotini.
In the meantime, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi has, however, watered down the reports of existence of fake fertilizer in the market, claiming that he is yet to receive any official complaint.
Kenyan Bureau of Standards has not given me any letter or complaint of any supplier within the subsidy program that is supplying fertilizer that does not meet the required standard.
Linturi urged farmers to ignore the naysayers, but was quick to warn of tough action against anyone who will be found culpable. The recent incidents have attracted fury from a section of leaders who have challenged farmers to be wary of unscrupulous traders.
Sahi kumetokea wakora wanauza fertilizer bandia, kwa hivyo be careful. Tumesikia? Lazima tuangalie, usifanye kazi hii yote unalima, unapata mbegu kidogo ya certified seed ya Tharaka County, unaenda unaongezea na ile mbovu na fertilizer ambayo ifanye kazi. We have to be very careful.
Wale wakora ambao wanasemekana wana adulterate mbolea, kuchanganya uchafu kwa mbolea, lazima watashikwa na kuadhibiwa.
Safin Achieng Oma, Citizen TV.
Aya, mambo ni kama hayo. Fertilizer ni fake. Minister wa Agriculture anasema hajapata barua ya kusema kwamba hiyo fertilizer ni fake kutoka kwa Kenya Bureau of Standards. Mimi sijui unaelewaje hiyo, lakini kama sasa DCI wanashika mbolea wanasema hii ni fake. masuala yanayozunguka jinsi hiyo fertilizer inakaa na vile inavyosafirishwa ni tatanishi. Mbona waziri anayehusika anatetea kwamba hiyo ni uvumi tu? Hakuna ukweli hapo, kwa sababu hajapokea barua ya kusema kwamba ile fertilizer ni fake. Sijui hapa ni nini, ni ofisi ya Linturi ndio inatumika kusupply fake fertilizer. Na hii fake fertilizer, kama vile wewe unaona, is it being used as a political tool? Because from the look of things, there are specific regions that are receiving this fake fertilizer. And is it to control the food production in those regions so that the farmers fail? Is it a calculated move to ensure that the Kenyans get impoverished, and become more dependent on the illegitimate government? Or what's happening here? Because there is no way we can be having this happening with every passing day, and we don't seem to have any serious response from the government side. In fact, we are getting different signals, and some are accepting there is a problem, others are saying there is no problem. And so when the government begins to speak from both sides of their mouth, you know that there is something cooking. Is a statement given here by a guru. He says, for you to know that something is true, you must wait for the government to deny it vehemently. Okay, since whenever the government comes out and denies it vehemently, then you know that that is a true state of affairs. And so Minister for Agriculture should be the most concerned person, because when crops fail, when the food production is not up to required proportions, he will be the first one to be stoned in terms of Kenyans who are hungry and there is nothing for them to eat. And so the way Linturi is treating this is suspect in my understanding, and probably is because he is part of the syndicate that is behind the, I think, crippling agriculture. Let's just put it bare. Okay, this cannot be an accident, and this cannot be just scriptlers, business people. This could be a government project to destroy agriculture and then make, we are like what Okio Mutata said. William Ruto does not understand that the West wants to turn the country into a consumer economy, okay? And it appears they are working on a script to turn the country into a consumer economy, whereby we'll only exist as a nation by buying from others and not producing anything, not relying on our own productivity to determine the direction of our economy. And so now our economy will be decided by, others who are producing and selling to us. And we will be at their mercy. Whatever price they give us, we will have to buy, because we will have to feed our people and we will have to sustain the livelihood of Kenyans. And so I am looking at this from a wider perspective. And what I see here is a huge scandal. Okay, it will not just be a fertilizer scandal or a fake fertilizer scandal, but it will eventually result into the crippling of the agricultural sector, and probably we have vested interest by those who have planted maize outside this country to get a market for their maize and other products. And probably this is what it's all about. I don't know what you think. Karibu studio kaseme masuala haya. Kwangu mimi inaudhi sana na inavunja moyo, kwa sababu wale ambao tumechagua kwa watchman, hao ndio wezi. Wale ambao tumepeana mamlaka kutulinda, hao ndio wanatafuta jinsi ya kutuua na kutuangamiza. Mkenya atakimbilia wapi apone? Ni kipi ambacho tutakifanya ili tuhakikishe kwamba watoto wetu watapata nchi ambayo wanaweza kuirithi? Hiyo ndio sababu tutakuwa hapa kila mara, na tungependa kujadiliana kama Wakenya. Kwa hivyo tunakuomba mahala pote ulipo, karibu studio, karibisha mtu, alafu tujadili masuala haya kwa kina. Kwangu mimi haya yanaudhi sana, yanakasirisha, na sijui ni nini tulikosea, ni wapi tulikosea, ama ni kipi ambacho kilifanyika mpaka tukafikia kiwango hiki. It is very annoying that we are being led like I don't know, because my understanding of government is government knows everything. Government is able to do anything to do what is right. That's the government I grew in. I mean, ulijua mkono wa serikali ni mrefu. Kabla maovu yafanyike, serikali isha nasa maneno. Sasa ikiwa serikali ndiyo inaendeleza maovu, serikali ndiyo inaendeleza kuhakikisha kwamba waovu wanalindwa, sasa ni kipi ambacho tumesalia nacho kama Wakenya? Naomba tafadhali makinika, karibu tukazungumze masuala haya kwa kina, kisha tutapata suluhu tu wakati tutakubaliana kusema ukweli ni kipi ambacho kinakumba nchi hii. Kwangu mimi, uongozi mbaya, kuchukua watu ambao hawafai, kuwapatia mamlaka, na hayo mamlaka pia hawajui kuyatumia ili Wakenya wapate afueni kwa masuala mengi tu ambayo wanakumbana nayo. Sasa hivi shule ziko hatarini, masomo tena, sasa agriculture pia ikuwe hatarini, healthcare ndio hiyo, madaktari wako kwa mgomo. Sasa ni wapi tutakimbilia kama Wakenya? Ni kipi ambacho lazima tukifanye ili tupone? Na kuomba tafadhali, karibu, link ya kutumia kuingia studio nishapeana, na kuomba ukaitumie vizuri. Walesi anasema suspect wa hiyo fertilizer ni Zakayo. Good deals zake zote huenda hivyo. Haya, ndio hiyo anasema, na suspect mwenye hiyo fertilizer, na chenye hiyo fertilizer inafanya ni kusaidia Zakayo kuendelea na mambo yake. Ke Salome Mashiba anasema dawa pekee, sukari fake, mafuta fake, mbolea fake ni ya hii serikali. Sio nzuri kabisa kwa raia wao, kama ni kuumiza watu kila kona. It's like the government to punish people, and is soon going to become a punishable crime to be a Kenyan or to demand rights as Kenyans. This is very sad, and we better wake up and do something seriously. Wow. Yes, thank you so much. Nanu African Queen anasema exactly, you're right. Kenya is being turned into a plantation. Okay. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. We need to get this worked out rightly. Okay. Thank you so much. Estap anasema fake fertilizer. It seems UDA is playing with Kenyans and stealing from Kenyans. Kwanza sio wizi, kwa sababu hiyo fertilizer kama ni fake haitakuwa na uwezo, na inaweza kuwa na madhara kwa mashamba. Okay, inaweza kuwa ndio inatengeneza masuala ya kwamba mashamba yetu yakuwe sasa ya kupanda mbegu ya GMO, kwa sababu imeharibika na haiwezi kutumika tena kama ilivyokuwa inatumika kawaida. So hapa tunaona vested interest, na hiyo story yote vile inaendelea, kwangu mimi ni suspect kabisa, and why should it be constant? Okay, constant everywhere, outcry, and you can't miss the government hand and the government presence in the outcry of its people. And it's like they are not relenting. They are on it and pushing it as if their life depends on it. What is it that William Ruto and team will profit in the pain of Kenyans, in the suffering of Kenyans, to an extent whereby they will be able to sell our reliable, our most dependable part of our operation as a people, and that is agriculture. You kill agriculture, you kill Kenya. We know the slogan by Moi government. Agriculture is the backbone of Kenyan economy. So how do you compromise such an important integral part of an economy by allowing fake fertilizer, fake seeds to go around and, spread simply because somebody wants to make a kill? Whatever you make from fertilizer is once and for all. If the fertilizer you're putting in the farm will affect the product of that farm 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, that is dire. So why should you fill your account one time only for you to render agricultural wherever production in the country unable to function for 10, 20 years? Why are you punishing Kenyans? And why should you, do that in the first place? Are we so desperate to make money to an extent that we are no longer thinking about tomorrow and we are no longer thinking about future generations? Where is our sense of responsibility? Where is our sense of, securing the future for the sake of future generations? What happened to us? Tulirogwa na nani? Eti wewe unaona tu hela inayoingiza sasa hivi ndio inafaa, au fikiri kuhusu afya ambayo unadhuru, yale magonjwa utaingiza, usio mashamba peke yake unaharibu, hizo mimea zikioteshwa na mbolea ambayo haifai zitakuwa na madhara ya kiafya. So there is a chain of all this are going to, affect people differently. So why should you not think about that? You only think near here that you have been able to sneak the fake fertilizer into the right depot, and from the right depot to get to the right farmers, and farmers will suffer the consequences. These consequences are more than farmers suffering. It's the country that will suffer. It's Kenyans that will suffer. Why have we so much broken down our value system to an extent whereby we have sold our soul to Satan, and we're busy doing things that kill, destroy, steal, kill, and destroy? We are doing even better than Satan. Why is this the case? Kwani hakuna mtu ambaye ana utu tena katika nchi hii, haswa wale watu mko kwa serikali? Hakuna mtu atasimamia haki kwa serikali tena. Wewe ni CS wa agriculture alafu unaongea kama mtoto, kwa sababu hiyo Linturi anasema ni kama mtoto atajapokea barua. Okay, so DCI ndio wanadanganya. Hujapokea barua, unataka kupokea barua ya kusema nini? Hujaona stickers za Kenya Bureau of Standards kiprintiwa River Road na kila mahali, na vitu ambavyo viko kwa shelves hata kwa supermarket ziko na hizo stickers za nini? Unangoja uletewe barua kutoka kwa Kenya Bureau of Standards kukwambia kwamba kuna fake products, na unasema hata wewe sio tofauti na Kiunjuri. Mnakumbuka Kiunjuri akisema story ya nini, mkiona nzike mfanye nini? Mpige picha mtumie kwa WhatsApp. This is the same thing. Farmers are protesting. Wameuziwa kokoto ni Kakamega, wameuziwa nini? Alafu wewe unasema unangoja barua kutoka kwa Kenya Bureau of Standards kukuambia kwamba kuna fake fertilizer. Haya, mtanichukia tu, lakini hapa mimi sioni, kwa sababu this is the height of impunity and irresponsibility, that the government sits in the office to wait for a letter from Kenya Bureau of Standards so that it can do something about fake fertilizer, when we are in the planting season and farmers are desperately in need of fertilizer. The government cannot control the quality of the fertilizer that is reaching to the farms. Atu wamekaa kwa ofisi wanangoja barua kutoka kwa Kenya Bureau of Standards. Linturi and team, God will punish you. You may think that you are punishing Kenyans, but there is a God in heaven who is mightier than all of you. You just go about, drawing salary for doing nothing and running around the country wasting what Kenyans are suffering to make available, thinking that you have escaped. I don't think so. Well, let's keep going. Sil TV anasema Kenya Bureau of Standards is the same thief as Linturi and his friends in government. All these idiots talking here as the same thieves. So these are the syndicate, these are the cartels, these are the people who are out to make Kenya unable to function and make Kenya unable to fed for its own people, make Kenya unable to deliver anything for themselves, and they are happy about it. Sad, sad, sad indeed. That the people that we need to be relying on to help the situation are the really cause of the situation, are the really cause of the pain of Kenyans. What happened until we ended up in a place like this? When I was growing up, ministers were powerful and were powerful on the grounds that they took their offices serious. They took matters serious. And now anybody can run their mouth because they are CS in funerals, making outrageous claims. Oh my God. Oh, God have mercy. And some fake fertilizer seems to come from Uhuru's what? Uhuru's time, according to NAM's investigation. We cannot rule that out. We cannot rule that out. But to me, my understanding is that when something has dire consequences, like the use of fake fertilizer on the farm, and you know it's going to affect the yields of the country, it's going to make whatever we produce not to be sufficient to feed the country. That's a crisis. That's a more crisis than affordable housing. That's a more immediate crisis than all these things you are looking for, housing levy. Because as soon as that fertilizer hits the ground and gets to the farm and farmers use it and it is not up to standard, they will not just drop in the yields. Even the yields themselves will carry sicknesses. Those sicknesses will end up on the, of course, the products will end up on the Kenyans' table. On the table, it will enter in their body. Get in their body, they will get sick. Ministry of Health will strain tackling that sickness, trying to figure out what is happening. We'll have all manner of outbreaks. All that is the reason why government needs to be strict, because one thing leads to another. There is nothing that happens by itself for itself. Everything leads to another. So we get fake fertilizer, put it in the farm, from the farm to the plate, from the plate to the body, body to the hospital. The government will still strain in sustaining those sick people in hospital. Lakini wewe uko hapo unangoja barua kutoka kwa Kenya Bureau of Standard kukuambia kuna fake fertilizer. Mungu okoa Kenya. Innocent, how are you?
I'm good.
Yes, wewe ndo unatuma barua ya ya Lenturi, ya Lenturi.
Yeah, sasa nifanye nini? Lazima nitume tu.
Sasa simtume barua haraka, kuna fake fertilizer ajue.
Sasa hata ukituma na mtu ajui kusoma utafanya nini? Pena, do you speak Jaluo?
Not exactly.
Unaelewa?
Very little.
And what about Kisi?
No. Hallelujah.
So how do you expect to speak Kisi and you don't know?
I can hear 1, 2, 3 things, but unajua kama wewe umeitwa kama mhubiri wa Wakisii, hata kama wewe sio Mkisii, lazima ujue na njia ya kuwafikia. So hawezi kukaa tu unasema sijui Kikisii. Lazima uwafikie hawa watu hata through interpreter.
You must go, you must be smart. If you don't know, then you look for a translator to do that. You see, these people, they are working in a place where they don't know. And I wonder why they have the PS. Those guys are supposed to guide them. You know, from the word go, ukiangalia at the fake fertilizers, there were stones inside. Me, I don't believe that. Bernard, I don't believe that. That's just a gimmick. Can you, is that way government can iweka stones kwa bags na ukifika kwa shamba unapata ni maa and then they give it to you? I don't believe them. There must be something hidden behind it. Kuna kitu fulani hapa nyuma tu imefichwa na bado watu hawaja realize. To me, I don't believe there's a way that the real government inaweza weka. Kuna kitu either imefanyika ama kuna kitu itafanyika which they are trying to hide, ndio walete hii kitu kama fertilizer, msahau either ni doctors hawataki kulipwa ama pesa ipeleke kwa shule. There is something, a hidden agenda, so that wakilete hii watu wanasahau kuongea about it na wanaenda kuongea about fertilizer, because unajua fertilizer itakuwa inaguza kila mkulima, na ikiguza kila mkulima ni kama Kenya mzima itaanza kuongea about it. And when you talk about it you forget, so you just forget. Just the same thing hii barua ati Ahmed Nasir ati ametuma ati these guys know what they are doing. They are playing us, they are playing something, na tusipoangalia vizuri, you know, the president is not going to use hustlers again. Aendi kutumia hustlers, kuna kitu anaenda kutumia something different, na ndio unaona unajua, if you remember Michuki what he said, hatukipatiwa liver what happens, you juggle. So they are keeping on juggling between their policies and the Kenyans, their policies and Kenyans. Hebu tulete hii, hebu tufanye hii, hebu tufanye hii. These guys have something to do, ama they have done something and they are bringing all these other things. Leo nimeona huko kwenu Sudi ameenda na milioni 2 kupatia wanawake. And guys wakina Ferdinand wametoa 200, wengine 100. Hawa jamaa wanatoa hizi pesa wapi? Hata kama ulikuwa the guest of honor, leo utoe 2 million, kesho kuna mali umeitu utoe another 3 million, 5 million. Unajua, nimemwangalia vile ametoa pesa round. Saizi sio Ruto anatoa pesa, ni Sudi. We must know what is happening, Bernard. So to me, ukiangalia whatever all these initoaje the CS, whatever they are doing, they are playing us. There is a game they are trying to play. Either kuna rishafo inatakana kukuja, so these guys are acting as if they don't know, ama anajua anaenda kutolewa, so aseme mimi I'm waiting for this, ndio akikuja kuambiwa aseme mimi sikupata barua, I didn't get the letter, so how could I do something? Yani whatever you have said is just true. Enda tu kwa watu wana hizi ma stamps, wanagonga tu hizo ma stamps tu with this product, tunafikiri ni original. Kuna Del Monte niko nasikia ukienda hii boda ya Tanzania na Kenya, Del Monte inatoka inakuja tu, nafikiri Del Monte hapa, but unless you are keen, ukiangalia kwa hizo words zao utajua hii sio Del Monte ya Kenya, hii ni Del Monte ya from huko kwa nje ama nini. Ukiangalia these products zingine zinakuja, unaona kama ni Sony, inaandikwa Sony with double N, yani vitu kama hizo. So these guys, they are perfected in lies, they are perfected in juggling us. So mimi hata mali imefika sijui tufanye nini. It's high time Kenyans wakuwe clever, wasianze kutosiwa tu huko na huko. Yeah, that is what I can give.
Okay, thank you so much, Innocent. Interesting time to be alive in this country and witness what's happening. But from the aspect that it is the government behind what is bedeviling the people, it's a very, very sad reality. Now, you said that probably there is something that is about to happen, or there is something that is happening that the government could be using to divert the attention of Kenyans. I don't think there's anything that will happen to surprise Kenyans anymore. This line of propaganda machinery with the Kenya Kwanza administration is like, it's no longer news. And that's why it beats all understanding that we want to be a propaganda government to an extent that it is now, the propaganda is unable to work, because you lie so much. You know, propaganda works when you mix the lie and the truth. But now if the lie has become the truth, nobody will be interested in your propaganda. So whatever that is happening right now, it's terrible. But let me read out some of these comments. It says, Bumicho is not qualified to head the health docket. Now, this is Washington. Bumicho means Nakhumicha. I mean, I didn't even get that, but I think I got it. We need someone with medical background. Hey, ukuangalia wewe. Washington, tulikusomea hapa CV ya dada yenu huyo Bumicho. Alifanya sijui pharmacy ndio akarudi akisijua akafanya nini. I will give you that later on. But it is terrible. It's terrible that we thrive in rewarding incompetence and, of course, charging with what is most important with the least qualified people. That shows exactly where the heart and the attitude of this government thrives. Nani huyu Smith M. Stone anasema, Bernard, I even wonder why Ruto needs CSs and PSs or also MPs in their offices. We all know his government is one-man show. State House is only there to praise Zakayo. Haya, maoni ya Wakenya hayo. Wanasema hawa watu wote ni excuses, kwa sababu anayefanya haya mambo yote ni Ruto mwenyewe. Anayeamua kwa kila ministry ni Ruto mwenyewe. Anayeamua nini kinaendelea bungeni ni Ruto mwenyewe. Anayeamua uamuzi wa bunge utaenda vipi ni Ruto mwenyewe. Mpaka saa hii sasa anataka kuamulia nini? Majudges kwa judiciary. So hapa tusisumbuane tukisema ni CS ama ni PS. Ni Ruto mwenyewe anayeongoza mambo haya, na yote yanaishia kwa mafanikio yake, haswa kwa mifuko yake. Anataka yeye akuwe mkuu wa housing, akuwe mkuu wa agriculture, akuwe mkuu wa majeshi, akuwe mkuu wa walimu, akuwe mkuu wa madaktari, akuwe mkuu wa uguzi na kila kitu. Na hiyo ndio dhana ya Moi. Okay, Moi alikuwa the first father, the first okay, African Queen anasema it is coordinated from the West. It's sad. And I think we need to ventilate on this more as we engage. Please, karibisha mtu. Hiyo namba ya watazamaji zafika 100. Naomba tafadhali songesha, hakikisha kwamba watu wana join na watu wana participate. Taps za nini za TikTok zisioni. Ni nini kinaendelea? Tap that screen, send those roses. Let's all engage. Let's ensure that we are growing with every passing day. Let's have more views today than we did yesterday. That is how we keep things going. So tafadhali usitazame tu, nataka uparticipate. Okay. Olele TV ana ujumbe hapa, anasema Bernard Ruto has decided to take prayer warriors to Haiti after the Haiti gang killed our police. I don't know this country. Hey, this country will one day kill us. I think we need to wake up as a people and just do the necessary. Tuache huu mchezo ambao tunachezewa na hizi karata ambazo tunachezewa. Mimi naona tu Wakenya mko vile mpo. Msipoamka kuokoa nchi yenu, hakuna nchi hapa. Msipoamua kwamba serikali lazima ikae ipasavyo, hakuna serikali itakaa straight. The government enjoys when it is left to do whatever it wants and nobody questions it. That is why they want to silence everybody. And so as Kenyans, let's not allow ourselves to be taken as fools by the government that needs to be responding to our issues. We are switching gears. Now time is running. Those of you who are coming in the studio, tafadhali kujeni tukajadili maswala haya. So we will get this video and then discuss this issue once again. Here we go.
19 schools have been closed indefinitely in a span of 3 months in Baringo North, following banditry attacks in the region. Now, the attacks have claimed the lives of 16 people and displaced more than 2,000 families who now require humanitarian support in internally displaced camps. As Marianne Nyambura reports, the banditry attacks in 6 counties of the North Rift has stirred conversation on the government's inability to weed out the bandits from their hideouts.
Yatia Primary School in Baringo North remains deserted for a week now. Learners and teachers have kept off the school as the insecurity situation in Baringo worsens. The closure of the school adds to the long list of schools at primary and secondary levels that have been shut in less than 3 months due to the attacks. The number of schools shut now stands at 19. And the government is well aware that the situation is dire.
We have not closed schools, but students are deserting schools because of the insecurity. But nobody has closed any school in Baringo. But then we just have a few where students, because of insecurity that was taking place, they had to keep off. And even families around there are also moving away.
The 19 schools that have been closed indefinitely include Sibilo Secondary School, Sibilo Primary School, Koroto Primary School, Koroto Secondary School, Biretwanin Primary School, Akorayan Primary School, Moinonin Primary School, Chepkwel Primary School, Kosile Primary School, and Ngaratuko Primary School. Ngaratuko Primary School head teacher says that bandits are seemingly targeting schools.
Kama shule yangu Ngaratuko, walitupiga mchana saa 6 mpaka watu wa askari wa RDU wakaturescue na walitupeleka mbio kwa magari mchana, na tukang'oa hata marago ila haijaiva kwa moto, tukapeleka, tukafunga madarasa na tukaenda, tukaambiwa tuende kwa hapa kwa sababu tutasingirwa na tutamalizwa.
Other schools that were operational last year but have since been shut due to the ongoing conflict include Kagir Primary School, Yatia Secondary School, Rondinin Primary School, Karimo Primary School, Sesianin Primary School, Kasepewa Primary School, Naipen Primary School, and Kibenos Primary School.
Hali hii si nzuri katika sehemu hiyo kwa sababu kumekuwa na hali ya taharuki, wananchi wakiwa wanahofia usalama wao. Ni location 3 ambazo zimeathirika sana. Katika Saimosoi tuko na pahali na location inaitwa Sibiloi na Yatia.
More than 2,000 families have been displaced from their homes in recent weeks and are seeking shelter in IDP camps set up in secure areas.
A criminal gang closing schools is unfortunate, and it should not be in this century, it should not be in this time. And we have been asking the government, and we continue asking them to make sure that one, they protect life and properties, and more so they protect our children in schools, and make sure that we send the police and the special units to protect our schools so that our children are able to learn without fear of being attacked.
The government has been conducting a security operation since 2023. But a year after the operation was launched, there is little to show for it. Residents continue to flee homes. Tens of people are killed, and now learners and their teachers are keeping off school. Marianne Nyambura, Citizen TV.
Bwana Innocent, ni Haiti tutaenda ama Baringo?
Wah, Bernard. Unajua tuna askari wengi, tuna askari wengi mpaka tunashinda wengine tupeleke wapi? So situpeleke wengine Haiti kidogo. Why should we have a lot of askaris wanashinda tu kwa camps bure? Situpeleke tu Haiti kidogo. You can imagine Kenya peke yake, not even Kenya, let me not say Kenya. That is the home county of our president. Na huko ndio, and I remember him saying that nikiweka atiwacha tu nikikuwa president kitu kama hii haita ati Uhuru ameshindwa, hii ni kitu tu, ni vitu za Uhuru. Sasa hizi Uhuru is not the president. Nini basi inamshinda? By the way, I don't know kama ilikuwa ni era ya, should be era ya Kibaki, ile mambo ya inaitwaje kiwoti ile ya Mount Elgon ilikuwa inaitwaje, Kapedo Michuki
Mount Elgon kulikuwa na land resistance movement
ile ya
ile
Kapedo
ya machekera na machukera
wale watu wenye walikuwa wanajificha ndani ya
ama ile ilikuwa ya Kapedo, ilikuwa ya the massacred police wale walikuwa 40 ama 20 watu.
Kuna hapa sijui ni Kuri ama ni wapi mahali Michuki walienda, I think ni Michuki waliendanga wakatoa watu, they used to have militia.
No, that should be Mount Elgon.
Mount Elgon ilikuwa
the army went to clean.
Yeah. Si wali clean kila kitu ikaisha. I've never had them. So hii ya Baringo ni nini? Hata watu wanakuja mpaka by the ati watu wanakuja mpaka shule beans hazijaiva. Hata maybe wanakuja wanakula chakula ya wanafunzi. No, I think watu they are not serious. Sasa wanaenda kushika watu wenye wamepiga kelele. Ati sijui watu wameshautia president ama wameshautia governor, ati ndio wanashikwa. Jera imejaa watu wenye wameshout. Na kuna mtu mwenye ameua. Ashikwi. Kindiki should be serious. Kindiki should be serious. Our PS, yani CS wa education should be also serious. These guys should be coordinating. Asema hii shule zangu hasitafungwa and we have the CS wa internal security. Na huyu mwingine anaitwaje huyu how do you call him? This guy mwenye alikuanga majority leader.
Defense. Yeye wa KDF.
Why is he? Our KDF wenye tunaonanga only during celebrations ndio tunaona wakimachi huko. Mbona watu wasitolewe? You know I don't know ni kama nani alikuwa amesema ati I think ni Matiang'i. Hao watu wenye wako kwa camps watoke waende kuishi, hata camps zianze kuwekwa huko. Why don't they put these camps huko sasa watu waende wakae huko? They build these camps huko, defense waende huko wakae. Hii sio kitu, baadaye sio kitu kubwa ati nini. Hii NIS inafanya nini? Wanaweza jua what is happening. I think all these CSS, vile nilivyokuambia, they don't know what they are doing. The only thing ni ile ati sijui shamba ya watu wamepiga kelele shamba ya president hapo na Naivasha, watu wanashikwa wanapelekwa Kajiado, wengine wanaletwa hapa 90 years old, mwenye hata hajafanya kitu, ni ile tu ameenda tu ameamuka tu akaenda akasimama akasema hii shamba ni yangu. Kusimama tu. I think we are misusing our police. We are misusing our intelligence, our NIS. I don't know what they should be doing these things. Hii ndio kazi inatakana kufanywa. Na ndio nakwambia hawa jamaa wamepatiwa kazi na wajui ya kitu ya kufanya. I believe Matiang'i kama angekuwa ni yeye saizi ati kitu ifanyike hivi, unaona tu ameanguka huko mara moja. na wafyake mara moja. Let them send the police, yani the security, waende wakae huko, MPs wa kutoka huko, MCS wa kutoka huko, waseme what is happening, waseme this is the place which is being attacked, let askari weka hapa. Mtu wote mwenye anakuja anashikwa ama anashutiwa. Kwani hao watu sio human beings? Hata hao wataogopa kukuja huko. I believe they'll fear coming there. Yes, Bernard.
Okay, thank you. It's not even fear coming there. What's happening right now is that the government is not arresting the situation. Moi was the best when it came to arresting situations, especially security situations. He did not let bandits run the show, especially for a long time. He would have to arrest that situation in 2-3 days. Kila kitu imezimwa. That made the government to be feared and to be powerful. But now mwaka mzima bado unaongea kuhusu bandits. Sasa bandits wamefukuza watu kwa msituni, wametoka sasa msituni wamekuja sokoni, wametoka sasa sokoni wameingia shuleni. Na wewe bado unasema we are going to deal with you, we are going to crush you. We are going to, which crush? They are the ones that are going to crush you because you're not doing what you're required to do in terms of arresting the situation. We have National Intelligence Service. That is what needs to inform government action. Bandits watatokaje kule hideouts wako, waingie mpaka shule, wachukue maragwe ile na chemshwa. When the intelligence have no information of the movements of the bandits. Na mnasema mko na serikali. Hii sio serikali. Hii ni merry-go-round ya kalongolongo. Hakuna kitu hapa. There is no way such a thing should happen. And now it is now the response of the police to go and rescue teachers and students who have been put under the custody by bandits. And then you are proud to report about it. That's not how government works. Government arrests situation before they get out of hand. So hii tuko nayo ni kalongolongo government looking for wanacheza chama macha hapa. Hakuna kitu hapa. That's all we can make out of this. Look the way they are treating things. Doctors on strike wanasema sasa ni cartel. Nini mbolea ni fake tena wanasema sio fake kwa sababu barua haijakuja. I mean, when did fake and not fake be determined by later? And so the internal security minister is unaware of what is happening, and it's because probably he's not using the required intelligence or responding to the required intelligence. If the place is volatile, that's the place that needs to be given the required priority and concentration. So if it's Baringo North, that's a place where you have to deploy all machineries to arrest the situation, put it under control, then move to the next place. Lakini tunachezewa, hakuna kitu kinaendelea hapa. Ni either serikali iko is the bandits. That's all we can say. Okay? The government could be the bandits and the police cannot fight their own. Why is that the case? Just to remind us, at run up to the 2022 elections, on the issue you brought up about William Ruto claiming that Uhuru Kenyatta is incompetent, doesn't know what he's doing. It was claimed the reason why there is insecurity in that part of the country is so that they can decampaign William Ruto and make sure that William Ruto does not become president. So it is the Uhuru Kenyatta and government that are allowing insecurity to rise in Baringo and those sides so that the people of Baringo will not vote for William Ruto as he runs for president. So he say he is the target, he's the reason why there is insecurity. That's what he said on television. So the question we are asking, is Uhuru still sending the insecurity? Is he still decampaigning William Ruto? Is he still ensuring that William Ruto becomes unpopular? These are the excuses that are making this country to grind to a halt because somebody is incompetent, somebody is irresponsible, yet is given responsibility. Hii kitu inafanya kazi wakati inafanyishwa kazi, si eti watu wanaongea kuihusu. So what we are treated with right now is Sarakazi government, serikali ya kalongolongo ama kalongolongo ya serikali. That's what we have. Unless Bwana Innocent, you have something to add, we can play another video.
Yeah, just bring another. Una ile video ya ile ya anataka pesa from ile ya CNN.
Yes, nilipata lakini no, I don't have the video, I have the caption. Is there a video to that effect? I don't think there was a video.
Kuna video ya ile nilikutumia.
Let me see.
Ya CNN. Kuna CNN walikuwa nasema anatuma askari Haiti. Ati sio ati ni askari wanataka, because they were saying that Haiti needs more than 20,000 militaries. Na Kenya inatuma 1,000. Wakasema sasa 1,000 hakuna kitu inaweza fanya. There's nothing inaweza fanya, so there's no need of sending. Ndio walikuwa nasema, CNN ilikuwa nasema ati ni kama the president wants some money. See, of
course, there is money involved. There's money involved. I'm told it is to the tune of $10,000 per soldier. And so then ni broking. Tutazungumzia hiyo, acha tu let's finish with the schools first.
Now, stakeholders in the education sector have expressed fear over the cash crunch in many schools as Term 1 comes to a close. Several schools have reportedly hit their borrowing limits, and it appears a government's plans to fund the institutions have hit a snag yet again. This comes a few days after the Ministry of Education announced that the remaining 25% of the first term capitation was to reflect in school accounts by the end of this week. Well, Crispin Otieno with that report.
We were discussing it with my colleague, and shortly we are releasing the remainder of 25% so that we can do 50% of term 1.
Shortly could be how short? Yes.
We
are interested in this because we are part of this society.
We are hoping within the next 10 days we should have released the resources.
That was Education Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang offering some hope to struggling schools that continue to bear the brunt of the inadequate capitation funds. A spot check by Citizen TV shows a dire situation in schools. In some areas, the school management has been forced to stop remitting salaries for their support staff in a bid to remain afloat. Education stakeholders from the Gusii region have expressed their fears, with many schools contemplating closing down before the official dates due to the cash crunch which has hit many schools hard.
I want to urge the Treasury and the Controller of Budget, when releasing expenditure for budget items, to consider education as a priority item.
It makes it strenuous. It makes the schools unable to pay their suppliers, and then suppliers are not able to supply us. Actually, they've been giving us a lot of conditions.
The government has introduced the e-citizen payment, which most of the parents are not comfortable with it, because some of them used to pay their fees through foodstuffs, firewood, and now they are not able to do that. And unless now the government releases the funds to schools on time, then it means our schools are going to have problems in terms of feeding our children.
Leaders in the teachers' union have demanded swift action from the government to salvage the situation.
Heads are crying. Principals are crying. The situation is pathetic.
This is not the time to cut down the free secondary education monies that are dispersed to our institutions. If this continues like that, we are going to receive 7,000 at the end of the day. So the government should be increasing to 30,000 so that our parents can be able to be relieved from paying those monies.
In the first term, the Ministry of Education allocated each student a capitation of a total of 11,122 shillings. However, it has only managed to allocate a mere 3,877 shillings per student. Crispin Otieno, Citizen TV.
Wana innocent. Masomo tunaua ama tunapalilia?
Hiyo lazima tu. Sasa unataka kila mtu asome hii Kenya. You want them to be better than. Wanasemanga masikie, yani masikie
haizidi kichwa.
So unajua ukiona watu watasoma wakuwe clever than you, over there you uwe. So maybe that's what they are doing. But you can just see ati ni sio ni security peke yake inafanya, pesa pia asitumi. So I think the education is being hit from both sides, all angles. Ukienda kama ni medical, students used to be given some covers. Nasikia siku hizi haiko, ilitolewa ile ya cover yenye students walikuwa wanapatiwanga. Ikikuja kwa masomo ndio hiyo masomo, ikikuja kwa insecurity shule zinafungwa because of insecurity. Sasa kila kitu tu itaua. Ukiona ukifika maneno ya payment of school fees, huwezi enda ufiake shule ama ulime shule ama ulete chakula ama upike huko ndio ulipe school fees, lazima ulipe na hii Citizen. Yani I think citizens are being hit from all corners in terms of hii maneno ya education, because education umeona imeshika kila kitu, imeshika farming. Kuna watu wanafahamu maybe wapande mahindi ndio wauze ndio wasomeshe shule, fertilizer inakuja iko fake. I remember last it's not only this season, last season kuna watu wali complain, especially some of us who are farmers. Nilikuwa nasikia some of the places watu walipatiwa fertilizer unaweka inapendua mahindi inakuwa yellow, yani inakuwa yellow sio green. So but ukienda place zingine walikuwa wanapatiwa fertilizer zenye ziko na which were good. So you see, I don't know, kila kitu ni kama tu inaanguka, but this is what we expected. So as you said, hatutashtuka, ni ile two things are just adding up. But tunajua even if they are adding up, tunasumbuka, all of us tutasumbuka tu. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think it bears mentioning that by the time Uhuru Kenyatta was leaving office, capitation per student was 22,000. Now it went to 11,000. Now we are told is now 3,800. So far what the government has paid. Of the 11,000, they are not even able to to send the 11,000. They have only sent 3,800 per student. Now, this is it not a sign of a failed government? Because if you cannot educate your people, you cannot take care of their health care. What are you collecting taxes for? Where are the taxes going to? And that explains why I think Chris Kumekucha did a video on the transformed dressing a drastic change of wardrobe for kina Sudi and team. Okay, and then angalia clips za Sudi before the elections and Sudi after the elections. It's like day and night. Hawa watu wana nini zao ni millions, belt zao ni 500,000. I mean, their dressing has changed drastically. And then this is an indication that the money is being diverted into people's pockets instead of it providing services to the Kenyans. And if this is how Kenya Kwanza wants to operate, then there is no future, kwa sababu hakuna mtu ambaye ni mwizi atakayetosheka kuiba, na hakuna mtu ambaye anatumia mali ya umma atakayetosheka kutumia mali ya umma. Akibinafsisha, basi hiyo ndio furaha yake. So the education will be made private. Wherever the healthcare, the same thing. I think they want to make more private hospitals and more, kill public health services to kill competition. Innocent, I'm sure you can remember when we had a functioning whatever public transport service in Nairobi, okay, with Kenya Bus services. The matatu couldn't raise their fare to wherever they wanted to because the control was there. The competition would be if it's 10 shillings to the city center, matatu could not ask for 20. But today, what happened? They systematically got into that Kenya Bus service, killed the sector, and turned it into now, instead of us having the majority of our public transport in the city center controlled by the government, it is now controlled by the private sector. And what has happened? The private sector now calls shots when it comes to the fares that Kenyans are paying. Now, this seems to be the same script being played. Now that public schools are getting support from government, attracting students and are able to keep more students in school, and somebody wants to do education as a private business investment, what would you do? You would want to frustrate the public education sector so that there is no hope in public education. Then everybody will resort to private. And this is evil, to say the least. This is evil. From all wherever operations and indicators of how government develop is in how well they take care of public schooling, on how well they take care of public health care, on how well they take care of food security. That's what really constitutes a government and can point out this is a government. But what we have now is excuse after excuse. Excuse after excuse. How do you do away with subsidies for petrol, subsidies for majority of the products, and then you are mopping money, you are pulling in money by denying people services, or rather not letting money go to those particular services that money used to go. Then if that is the case, we should be having now more money at this point in time that students should have been paid up for a whole year, not even paying in percentages in the term. Kama sasa hakuna subsidy ya petrol, sai hakuna subsidy, hakuna linda mama, okay? Hakuna healthcare, ile pesa ilikuwa inaenda kwa insurance ya students ya healthcare. That money is not there. I mean, not the money, the service is no longer available. Now, if that service is no longer available, the money that used to go there has been what? Plowed back, has been taken back by the government. Should that government be complaining about capitation? I mean, they have now more than, they have now more income by reason of what? Less services being provided for free to the students by the government. They are no longer paying for the medication of the students. That service was paid for fully by the Uhuru government. And yet that Uhuru government was able to pay 22,000 capitation for every student. Now that they are not paying for healthcare, they are not paying for Linda Mama, they are not paying for subsidy for petrol. Hii pesa yote ambayo imekuwa withdrawn inaenda wapi? Mbona tena wanakata tena capitation ya mwanafunzi kutoka, na wanafunzi hawajatuambia wameongezeka. Hawajasema kuna wanafunzi wengi sasa shuleni sasa hivi kuliko vile walikuwa time ya Uhuru Kenyatta, ndiposa tunataka kulipa nusu. Hawajasema hilo. So kwangu hapa mimi naona ni shida tupu tu, na hizi shida zote zinatokana na nini? Uongozi mbaya. Na hii ni lesson ya kila Mkenya. Kama utatoka kwa nyumba yako uende kupigia kura serikali ambayo haifai kama hii, hey, usisamehewe. dhambi zako zisamehewe, Mungu akumbuke zote kila siku. If this is what we want to do in, putting people in leadership who cannot do anything in terms of solving our issues, and you still want to insist to retain this kind of government, I have no words for you. Actually, I don't. Hata maombi sina. Kama wewe akili yako timamu, utatoka uende kupigia kura serikali kama hii, ati unairudisha kwa mamlaka, hapo Wakenya mnihesabu out kabisa completely, because I will not have mwiba wa kudunga au kujidunga hauna pole. Kama utaenda kuchagua serikali kama hii tena, hapo mimi sitakuombea hata maombi kabisa. Sitasema Mungu akusaidie, kwa sababu hapa umechagua nini? Kujifunga. One of my Bishop David Oyedepo says a statement. He said even mad people don't walk themselves to prison. When a mad person passes near prison, he looks at the gate and says, this gate is not ordinary. Hata kifunguliwa ingia hawezi kuingia. Now, in their lunacy, in their madness, they don't enter into prison. Lakini wewe ukuwe na akili timamu, umeona vile mambo yanaenda, unaona vile serikali inaharibu mambo ya nchi, alafu utaondoka kwenda kupigia kura serikali kama hiyo, you're worse than a mad person. That's all I can say. Innocent, kama unala kuongeza ongeza saa hii, and then we switch gears. We are about to call it a day.
Kuna hii kipindi cha Jirongo, Savage Politics, yenye Martha Karua alikuwa anaongea huko. Was it yesterday ama ni juzi? Unajua Martha Karua alisema ati this is the worst and darkest hour ama time ya economy ya Kenya than even during Moi's time. By the way, do you know Moi's time, hata kama kulikuwa na corruption, kulikuwa na pesa mingi. There was a lot of circulation of money all over. Na hiyo ndio siku watu walikuwa wanasema ati pesa zilikuwa zinaibiwa. But tulikunywa maziwa ilikuwa tulikuwa tunakunywa always kwa shule. Shule watu walisoma, school fees haikuwa expensive. Yani things were cheap. Fare ilikuwa very cheap. Mafuta ilikuwa I remember lita hata ilikuwa sijui ni 50. Ile enzi. But I think after initoje multipartyism ilikuja, I think ni kama vitu zilianza kuchange. Yani when people are having more liberty, ndio vitu zinakuwa wazi. Me, I just wonder with us Kenyans, when things are, yani vitu zazile zinakuwa mzuri, ndio the economy inakuwa mbaya. Yani even when at citizens we have a constitution imetuwekea, we can even recall our MPs. That is even when we cannot recall them. Yani hatuwezi kusema hey, this is bad. We cannot recall them. Yani it's so bad. Mi hata nimeshinda. So Matakaro ukiwatch hiyo kitu walikuwa wanasema ati, hata alikuwa anauliza Jirongo, where have you been? Umefanya, akasema ati I'm trying to make ends meet. Jirongo making ends meet. Na juzi ndio nimeona hiyo land ya sewage huko wamerudishiwa. So wamefurahi. He's happy. He wants now to make ends meet. He wants to start building some houses. Now, Bernard, what is our priority? What is the priority of this government? Is it, do you want to build school, houses? Ama do you want to educate hawa watoto? Yaani unataka waishi nyumba, wakuwe na nyumba ya kuishi, but hawana masomo. You know, that's mimi vile naiangalia. Unataka kujenga nyumba na watu hawana pesa, medics hawana pesa. Unataka kujenga nyumba Baringo hawataki nyumba saizi. All they want is security. It's not houses, please. So hizi pesa hata za kujenga nyumba, hata afadhali uemploy more askaris wapelekwe huko Baringo waende ku take shelter for these guys. Let them go and secure our citizen. So I don't know what is happening. You know what you have said is correct. All these things, subsidies haziko, pesa imerudishwa, ya students imerudishwa from 22 mpaka nasikia unasema ni 3,000, means they have around that's around 18 ama 19. They are saving 19,000 for every student. Hii pesa inaenda wapi? And they are borrowing more than Uhuru. Sasa yani ukijiuliza hizi vitu unajua unashindwa. Wewe wananunua mashamba more. Yani corruption imekuwa even now you're wondering what is mimi hata baba vile ametoka hivi nataka kila sekta sasa ianze kuamuka. Education waamuke, waanze mavita. Si unaona madaktari wameanza, lawyers walianza kidogo wakawaacha, they should also continue. Lawyers waamuke waanze. Teachers walisema I don't know kuna kitu niliona ni kama they want to strike. Watakuwa na strike.
Yeah, they have given a notice of 7 days.
Yes. So kila mtu
the capitation money.
So mi nataka kila sector sasa ianze si unaona wakulima wameanza kusema fake fertilizers. Hivyo kila sector ianze tu kuamuka, ianze kucomplain. Let every individual complain. Saizi unajua nimeanza kushangaa, baba akienda ni kama now things are wame cool down. I remember when baba used to be around, my students wa campus walikuwa wameshikana na yeye wanasema we want kama hakuna pesa so campus ni nini inaendelea, kama hakuna pesa si washikane. So let every sector ishikane. Hata wakitaka kushika watu wanashindwa, tunashika tunapeleka wapi? There are some countries wakianza riot ama ku pressure when they want to bring pressures to the government inashindwa, itashika ipeleka hawa watu wapi? There are so many. Ama polisi wakikuja tu wanakuja kushika hawa watu, wanashindwa tushike wangapi? Akikuja kushika kama msitoroke, anasema kama unataka kushika, kama umeshika huyu tushike wote tuweke ndani. Wanaenda wote, kama ni polisi wanaenda wote, wanaingia ndani ya police station, wanasema tuweke wote ndani. Unajua watashindwa, all of them are going inside. So if every sector wataanza kukua serious, all these things I think zinaweza fanyika, but where we are heading
So thank you, Bwana Innocent. Interesting time, and like you have said, I think it is good that now Baba cannot be blamed, because he has been the excuse of the incompetence of the Kenya Kwanza administration especially, and also Uhuru Kenyatta's silence. So Kenya Kwanza cannot apportion blame on Baba or apportion blame on Uhuru Kenyatta anymore. They have to own up. And of course, they will always find something. That's why you see Nakhumicha is now talking about cartels. And, Zakayo will always blame on the courts and things like that. So we have a lame government here that can only, move on excuses. We say that excuses are the crutches for the non-committed. Since they are not committed to the welfare of Kenyans, they are not committed to the progress of Kenyans, they will always find an excuse to fall on. And that's very, very sad state of affairs. And so Kenyans of goodwill from wherever you are, understand that we have a country and we must take care of this country. And getting rid of bad leadership should be your number one priority. Even as we talk about the general elections and all that, usikue Mkenya mjinga eti baada ya kusafa chini ya serikali kama hii, kwa sababu ya uongozi mbaya utasahau tena udanganywe na shilingi 200 kwenda kupigia kura mtu ambaye atakunyanyasa miaka ingine 5. Hapo ndio mimi sitakubaliana na wewe kama Mkenya. Kwa hivyo kutuka mahali ulipo, simama imara, usirudie makosa. Munisha aliimba wimbo akasema kufanya makosa sio makosa, kurudia makosa ndio kosa kubwa. Okay? Tusirudie makosa haya ya kuweka watu ambao hawafai kwenye mamlaka, kisha tunalia kwamba tunaomba Mungu atubadilishie. Mungu hatabadilisha kitu ambacho umekiwekea. Yaani wewe unapatia Mungu overtime. Wewe uende kuchagua mtu ambaye hafai umweke kwa ofisi. Ni kama wewe wherever mwanaume ulitaka kuoa binti fulani. Ukaambia huyu binti asikilizangi mtu. Huyu binti amheshimu baba yake. Huyu binti anapigana na ndugu zake kila siku. Huyu binti ana hii na hii na hii na hii. Wewe ukasema mimi nampenda, nitamuoa na nimbadilishe. Okay? Haya, tukakuachia ukaenda ukaoa. Sasa umeanza kupigwa kila siku. Unasema sasa Mungu akubadilishie. Sasa Mungu akubadilishie vipi? Si wewe ndio uliona moto ukajiingiza huko ndani. Nataka Wakenya tusiwe wajinga. Tukubali wakati tumekosea na turekebishe makosa yetu. The politics are important. Let me talk to the church people. We are the ones who have led into the embracing the stupidity of saying that politics don't concern us. They do. We are shopping from the same supermarkets, we are shopping from the same kiosks, and we are suffering under the high cost of living because of the politics of the day. And so yule anayesema hawezi kuhusika katika siasa ama hataki kujua kile kinaendelea kisiasa, basi wewe ndio adui wa maendeleo. Na kama wewe ni Mkristo, you are running away from responsibility. Biblia inasema you are the light of the world. You're supposed to lead. You are the salt of the earth. You're supposed to lead. And so when it comes to the political world, you who are believers should be leading the way. Not that you should go and vie for seats, which there is nothing wrong with vying for seats, but even determining the direction and shaping the opinion and making sure that people make informed decision is leadership. And so wale ambao mnaacha siasa mnasema hamwezi kuhusika, alafu mnaenda kuchagua machambazi mnaweka kwa ofisi, na baadaye mnaenda kuomba katoloni kwamba Mungu awarekebishe, awabadilishe. That's irresponsible. And so amkeni mahala pote mlipo, tutekeleze wajibu wetu. Ningependa it is 25 minutes after 1 a.m. na naona watu hawaingii studio. Sasa sijui itakuwaje. Kama hamna la kusema kuhusu hii masuala ya Nakhumicha na serikali, basi tutafunga mapema. Lakini kabla to change gears ili tufanye nini, tuangalie masuala haya kwa kina, ningependa kukumbusha tu kwamba jana tulipeana communication kwamba kama channel tunategemea wewe kutusupport kuendeleza kipindi hiki na vipindi vingine, na tunategemea hiari yako ya kutuchangia. Na katika mchango tumefanya hivi kila mara, na kuna mtu ambaye tumetesa ama tumeumiza. Kama tumekuumiza tunaomba pole, lakini tunasema kwamba kila mtu afanye sehemu anayeweza, na kuna wakati ambapo tumezidisha kiwango cha hela kwa sababu ya kutaka ama kusinikiza. We have never done that and we are not planning to do that. What we need is we need committed people that are going to support us to meet our bills. Last month we did not do well. Last month we only got 30%. So we have a deficit of 70%, and this wherever this month is already over, we need to get into the new month. So we are dealing with 170% of requirements to meet our bills. And so we are encouraging you to support us. And there's somebody who suggested yesterday that all the diasporians that enjoy this particular channel and enjoy the content that we share on this particular channel can volunteer to give us the subscription fee of $5 per month on YouTube. And so you join as a member, but you take that package of $5 per month, which is a subscription, and it will contribute more of our support as well. So if you are in the diaspora, we are talking about diaspora because of the mode of operation and the use of cashless or subscription services, which are not normally easily available locally. And so we encourage all our diasporians family not only to be sending the M-Pesa, but also to make the subscription, but not taking the least. The least subscription, I think, is $1.5 dollars per month. Instead of taking the least, you as a responsible and, of course, beneficiary, and you enjoy what Sound Candy Talk does, you subscribe with that $5 per month for the next 12 months. YouTube will be taking care of that. It is absolutely out of our control, but YouTube will be submitting every month on how much you have contributed. And so to join as a member, I'll be sharing the link. To join as a member, you click on this particular link. It will take you to the membership page, and there you will select your package. There is 1.5, there is 5, I think 4.49, I think so. And then there is $24 per month, and there is, I think, $100 per month. So whichever is your level, please, we need your support. Remember, we are now dealing with 170% because this month is over. The bills for the other month are due. So we encourage as many as possible to send in their contribution. The other details of using M-Pesa are available. They are either scrolling on the screen. The till number is 516575, or you can use the M-Pesa number +254 718 M-Pesa number is +254 718 Bernard is the name. So tafadhali tumakinike katika hayo mambo, hata tunapojadili kwamba ni tuwajibike kutekeleza wajibu wetu. Now, kuna swala lingine ambalo limeanza kutokezea ambalo alifurahishi kabisa, na ningependa tulizungumzie. Mimi hapa na Innocent inaonekana sisi ndio tumepakwa mafuta kuwa kwa studio leo. Tunapoanza kutamatisha kipindi, tunakuomba tafadhali karibisha mtu. 80 people viewing, thank you so much for your faithful followership. Now, kuna hili swala la Speaker Wetangula na governor wa Trans Nzoia na Tembea. Ni kama kuna mushkili fulani hapo, na kuna vita kati ya who is the kingpin ama kitu kama hicho. So kuna swala ambalo limetokea mpaka inasemekana kwamba wanasiasa sahihi wamekosa heshima kwa wafu, wanatumia matanga ku settle their political scores. Let's look at this, and then we'll look at this as we discuss. Thank you.
Now, it's a double loss for the family of the late Sandra Nyongesa, wife to former nominated MCA Philip Nyongesa, whose funeral in Goseta, Trans Nzoia, was marred with chaos as supporters of Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya and National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula clashed. Now, the family that was mourning their mother and seeking to give her a befitting send-off on Friday is disgruntled by the turn of events. Funerals in Kenya have more often than not been turned into a forum for politicians to advance their political agenda. And as Marianne Nyambura reports, the mark of respect for the dead and the bereaved families has been overshadowed by the thirst by political leaders to showcase their command for huge gatherings.
It's Saturday morning in Goseta village, Trans Nzoia. Here at the home of Philip Nyongesa, a former nominated MCA, casual workers are busy making final touches on the gravesite of Sandra Nyongesa, wife to Philip Nyongesa. The family had planned to put concrete on the gravesite of their kin right after putting her to rest. But Friday's events, where chaos rocked the burial ceremony of the departed Sandra Nyongesa, robbed this family the opportunity to decorate the gravesite and mourn their kin while according her a befitting send-off.
Tulipoona furuku imeshika chini, tuliona kwamba tukaomba bishop akatupea nafasi tuweze tumpumzishe mpendwa wetu Sandra. Hatukutaka mashishi yake iharibike.
Ni uchungu gani mmeona wapi? Matanga yenye wanaweza kusika mtu leo na kesho wamalizie nini kaburi yake.
This child too was caught up in the melee and suffered a head injury when the two factions took each other on. Family members are counting losses as the seats that they had hired for the event are broken. They will have to part with more than they had budgeted for the funeral service.
Si utani ya kwamba maneno inaweza kutokea kwa huyu msichana wetu kama niliona jana. Hata sadaka haikutolewa. Hata kumusika hatukumusika bila inatakikana kusikwa na heshima.
Vijana ndio walianza vita. Watu wakatawanyika, wakaanza kutoroka, fiti zikafunjika, watoto wakaumia.
The aftermath of the chaos all too painful to the family that had plans to give their loved one a befitting send-off. But the lack of goodwill by the political leaders who graced the event to ensure sanity during funerals, more so to the departed, has them in thoughts. Chaos that seemingly pointed to the push for the elusive Luhya unity and the battle for a kingpin.
Anybody making that disruption, he should be held accountable. Because I'm asking the bishop here, at what stage did he come in? He came in towards the end.
Hata ile mshahara ambayo ile speaker analipwa na Wakenya. So watu wanaanza kuleta vitisho, natembea sio kamatwe, sio tunaenda kwa cabinet. So what? Mnakuja kuleta fujo katika mazishi, alafu mnaanza kutoa fujo. Mimi hata longi yangu imeraruka.
The government through Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki warned political leaders against using goons to cause chaos in gatherings. Barely 4 days after the warning and the chaos were witnessed.
Tutawakamata wote, haijalishi milengo yao ya kisiasa, na hakuna yeyote yule ambayo ako juu ya sheria. Everybody must follow the law without exception.
Police are conducting investigations into the incident and say perpetrators will be brought to book. Miriam Nyambura, Citizen TV.
Haya, mambo ni kama hayo. Subiri kidogo tu, nataka tucombine hizi zote ili tukizungumza tuwe tunatamatisha. Na kuomba makinika, karibisha mtu, hakikisha kwamba wengi tu wanajifunza kutokana na maongezi haya. Hii vita inatoka wapi?
And chaos erupted in Goseta, Trans Nzoia County during a burial ceremony as supporters of the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula and Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya openly clashed. Police had to intervene as the chaos disrupted the burial ceremony of the wife of former nominated MCA Philip Nyongesa, the late Sandra Nyongesa. Marianne Nyambura reports.
The burial ceremony of the late Sandra Nyongesa, wife of former nominated MCA Philip Nyongesa in Goseta, Trans Nzoia County, was Friday afternoon disrupted when supporters of Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya and Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula clashed publicly. Police had to use tear gas canisters to disperse the two factions. Mourners had to scamper for safety.
Uwe mchezo ambayo umeanza kuwa Trans Nzoia, uwe kiongozi aina gani, cha cheo gani, hatutakubali watarisha maisha ya wananchi. Nianzie viongozi wa kisiasa. Kwa sababu hao vijana wako hapa, kila mmoja anajua ako na kiongozi wake. Na waurisa wazungumuze na hao vijana.
This was the first time in months that the two leaders, Speaker Moses Wetangula and Governor George Natembeya, were sharing a podium. Wetangula and Natembeya have not been seeing eye to eye and even openly commented on the Mulembe Nation unity and the battle for a kingpin.
There should be no sacred cows popote nchi yetu. Kenya ni nchi ya amani. For us to grow, tunahitaji amani na heshima kati ya wananchi. Tukitaka kuguro, tunataka tuheshimiane.
Wanafikiri kwamba wakileta vita na watu kupigana kumwaga damu ati kwamba ile mchakato utasimama. Ndio mkoko amealika maua. Mambo ndio imeanza sasa. Na hii vita tutapambana mpaka ile siku ambayo jamii yetu itakuwa liberated kutoka kwenye linde la umaskini.
The sudden turn of events in Trans Nzoia seemingly drawing a line between two camps.
Tumekaa hii miaka yote hatujaona vitu zinafanana kama ambazo tumeona leo. Tumekuwa na matanga mingi, hatujaona vurugu kama vurugu ambayo tumeona leo. So mimi nataka kuambia viongozi, people must stay in peace. And where there is no order, order will be brought by force, by fire. Tunataka watu waishi kwa amani.
Trans Nzoia imekuwa kama hatukumaliza kura. Ni kama tuko kampeni. Ikiwa kuna mtu wako na uchaguzi wake, sisi kama nchi tunajua hakuna uchaguzi.
With the wrangles cutting short the burial ceremony program, the family of the late Philip Nyongesa lay their kin to rest hurriedly. Miriam Nyambura, Citizen TV.
Bwana Innocent, Wetangula ni speaker wa National Assembly. Anatafuta nini kijijini?
Si nataka kukua village elder. Wajua kama mtu hajazoea kukua huko juu, anaona wacha aende huko chini mali amezoea kuwe papa wa Roma. Si ni papa wa Roma wa kwenu huko. Nini inaendelea huko kwenu bana? At least ninaona Mudavadi afuatilii sana. Ametosheka na hiyo kidogo yenye naye prime minister. Nafikiri ni kama ametosheka kidogo. Anaenda kupingana na watu huko. By the way, he should be non-partisan. Wetangula, he should be non-partisan. Hiyo kiti yenye naye, na hii kiti nimeshikiliwa kutoka watu wa kwenu huko, but one of them mwenye alishikilia Marenda alifanya kazi mzuri sana. I don't think we'll ever have another person like that mwenye alifanya kazi mzuri. But nikiangalia Natembea is not ready to back down. Unajua Natembea sio mtu unashtua ati anyamaze. Ako kama wakina Joho huko wanasema kama ni mbaya ni mbaya. Kama ni noma ni noma. Unajua watu watakimishana tu peke yao, but wakikimishana unaona watu kitu inaumia ni nyasi. Nyasi ndio inaumia. But what I can say, wacha Wetangula anyamaze kidogo for the few years ako speaker, because what is leading is it the third arm of government. Yani ana sehemu yake. Wabunge ni kitu kubwa sana. Anaenda kupigana na mtu wa county huko chini. Mara ninaona ikiendelea hivi ile sijui ni 20% yake yenye alikuwa anataka huko chini, maybe ndio anaona ni kama 2027 ni kama hatapata. I think that's what he is trying to fight for. Ile 20% waliambiwa watu kikaa hivi, anaona ikienda hata akitaka anything kwa government hata pata, ama watu wake wakitaka. But unajua akifanya kazi mzuri as a speaker, sio lazima aende kutafuta kura huko chini. Juu government ikishamaliza, in case again they get it, kama amefanya kazi mzuri atapatiwa tu. But yeye anaangalia ile 20% yenye I think ni 20 ama 30. I think ni 30% yenye
ile ya votes. Hiyo hawezi kupata hata kwa dawa.
Ndio anatafuta, but I don't know mbona anatafuta na
sio kutafuta. I think nini umesema kwamba yeye ni head of parliament, the third arm of government. alafu ukasema story ya wabunge. So kuna msemo huko kwetu wanasema ng'ombe zikiwa malishoni ng'ambo ya mto. It's in, many cows are grazing across the river. He said, let yours also be among them. So how many for the Kenya MPs do we have in parliament that can make a difference for Wetangula? You get that? And so he's, I think, he's on survival mode because Natembea is in the Eugene party, DAP. Okay? And DAP is taking over. In fact, it had taken over Bungoma and all that, except for these riggings and, of course, the politics of clashes, which Wetangula specializes in. And so he's threatened that now that he's not on the ground, because previous sisi alikuwanga senator, so anapaswa kuwa hapo nini, and then he is determining the politics. So it's like Natembea and the team have taken the ground and wamevuruta carpet. So he's feeling exposed, and he's fighting for his survival and the survival of his personal political party called Ford Kenya, of which is how many Ford Kenya MPs do we have? I don't think there are more than 5. If we are generous enough, I don't think there are more than 5. And so if that is the case, then he needs to play fatherhood role. Unajua wengi wa nini, I always engage we call them what? The spiritual leaders of our place. Kuna wahubiri ambao wamekuwa wakongwe in let's say Kakamega, in that western region. Now, so I was challenging them and said, what you people are doing is wrong, because hao wamekaa tu hapo kuwa guest preachers, okay? So they circulate kutoka kwa hii church, conference ikiisha wanaenda kwa hii church, conference ikiisha wapewe brown envelope na hiyo inaenda. Sasa mnaleta competition katikati ya watoto, okay? Ulienda huku ukakula nyama, huku ukakula kuku, ulienda huku ukakula mboga. And so you keep running this one down and running this one up because of how you are treated. And the conference is sasa Kakamega lazima consult, okay? Mimi nitafanya first week, wewe ufanye next week and the other week, because our guest preacher ni huyo mmoja okay, ambaye ni baba, lakini lazima aongee kwa hii nyumba amalize ndio aende kwa hii nyumba ingine, ndio aende kwa hii nyumba ingine. Mbia wewe kama baba, mbona usiita watu wote pamoja? Okay? Alafu waongoze. Waambia kuna haja tumalize full gospel, ndio twende half gospel, ndio twende 3 gospel, 4 square gospel. Let's all come together and say have a Kakamega festival of the Holy Ghost. And then we have one speaker, 1 week, address all the issues in all the churches and let the churches grow. So kuna ile hofu ambayo badala sasa Wetangula na timu wakue wa baba wa siasa in the region, they are still jostling for the position of younger upcoming politician. Like Natembea is elected for the first time. He should not be in confrontation with who? With Wetangula. Wetangula should be in the league of Kinamuskari Combo, the retired ones. Okay? And then they can organize the politics of the place in such a way that it is not combative among themselves. It is, let's give life for DAP. Let's give life for Kenya. Let's give life for ODM. Let's have thriving political environment in our backyard. But they can't see that. They can't do that because they have to keep doing what? Profiting from the divisions and profiting from the squabbles that they create and then pretend to be the ones not behind the whole thing. So what I can see here is childish, to say the least, is childish. and Wetangula is the one misbehaving, because you don't go to try and frustrate Natembea and expect him to sit back and honor you and celebrate you. Na kwanza huna capacity. Wewe unataka kuwa kingpin lakini hakuna chochote. There is nothing you have in terms of national leadership and the stake you command in the nation. In the nation, you are not anywhere closer to that 30% you're talking about, and then you want to be taken as a principal. Kumbuka hiyo story, we are equal principles. If they want divorce, is going to be messy, it's going to be chaotic, and all that. How much did it survive? And so, in my understanding, Wetangula is missing the point, and he needs to get rid of those politics. Achie vijana wafanye siasa zao na yeye akue baba. Okay? Kama kuna shida, si anajiita baba wa Roma. Kama kuna shida kati ya Lusaka na Natembea, alafu nani huyo mwingine, yeye ndio hao wa kwanza kuwarudisha nini pamoja. Lakini kama yeye ndio ameenda kufight Natembea, who is going to refer to him when there is a problem? And so he is missing big time, and that's why he will be overtaken by people like of course Natembea is ambitious. He will be a significant leader as far as the Western politics are concerned. And then, of course, Eugene is doing well. His work is not, is not missing steps like he used to. I think he's developed some capacity, and should not be underrated. And so, and then, of course, it is Wetangula who was behind the unseating of what is called not Wamatangi. The other one was who? Wangamati, sorry. Wangamati, the former governor of Bungoma, who was doing a very superb job in terms of running Bungoma and making sure development were taking place. And so I think he's missed his position as a father, and that is going to make him be a nuisance everywhere. So na hizo gunzi zake ambazo ametumia miaka mingi, sioni akitoboa. Natembea alikuwa PC, na hakukuwa PC wa kawaida, alikuwa PC aliyetumika katika area ambazo zilikuwa na shida. So kwenda kuleta vurugu in Trans Nzoia when Natembea is the governor, and you think you're going to use those monkey business to thrive, I don't see that working for who? I don't see that working for Wetangula, no matter how much he tries to pretend that it will work. And that's also another mentality that certain politicians have. Is it things the way things have been, so they will continue to be, while without end, amen. So they think the way they arranged politics and used chaos to retain power and remain in control, things will continue being that way. I think things are not anymore going to continue that way, because the new crop of politicians are not buying into that idea of banking on the goons and, of course, causing violence in order for you to remain in power and in control. The influence on the people and, of course, impact on the people is becoming a more appealing approach towards politics than the chaos and the violence visited on innocent people. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. This is Sound Candid Talk. We are having a conversation with concerned Kenyans with what become of our country. Excuse after excuse, with people who are in the position of responsibility, drawing a salary, enjoying government allowances, yet giving us excuses when it comes to delivery. Innocent, kama una la kuongezea kabla tumlete mwalimu Julia afundishe last lesson, mimi naondoka.
Yeah, Hata mimi karibu niondoka, unajua kesho ni church, lazima tumalize mapema ndio some of us tunaenda ku lead worship, so tusikae tuna dose huko mbele. One of the thing maybe nitaongelea ni hiyo kuharibu matanga. Hata kama vita zao zinaendelea vile tumesema, ndume wawili wakipigana nyasi ndio umia. Sasa unaona matanga ya hawa jamaa ndio inaharibika. Maybe you wanted to honor your mother ama your wife ama your relative, alafu hizi vita zinaharibu matanga. Unajua itafika mahali sasa some of the citizens wataanza kukataa kupatiana nafasi kwa wanaitwaje, politicians, because wanaanza kuharibu matanga. Hata juzi niliona David President akicomplain walikuwa matanga ingine jana juzi, leo kumbe ishaenda another day. Juzi walikuwa huko Nyeri na akasema ati politicians took more than 1.5 hours kuongea, but the priests walichukua karibu 30 minutes kumaliza kazi yao. So you find that politicians are taking more time, and the family na pastors walichukua karibu 30 to 45 minutes, but politicians wanachukua 1.5 hours, triple of what. Sasa matanga ni kama imeanza kuwa badala tunaenda honor the deceased ama the family, consult with the family, sasa inaanza kukua ni tunaanza kuangalia the supremacy of this. So I believe also church ndio inaleta watu down. Wacha waende wakisimamianga hii matanga. I like the way Catholics do. Catholic wanasema tukianza hivi ni hivi na tunaendelea hivi, na tunataka tukifanya kama ni saa 8 sisi tunapeleka mwili. Hawataki yani mpitishe ile time yenye wamepatiananga. So Catholics are very serious especially in terms of order, na wakifanyanga kazi yao watakangi mchezo sana. Hata wakipatiananga nafasi, wakisema kama ni 30 minutes, ikishaisha 30 minutes utano wakisimama wakisema sasa imeisha, tunataka kuendelea, ama watasema mtaendelea baadaye, wamalize kazi yao kwanza. So I believe church also should be responsible and waanze kukuwa serious, and also the family wenye wako deceased, wacha wapange maneno yao vile wanataka. We'll have this, tufanye hii ikiisha, hii iende. Politician watapatiwa kama ni 20 minutes, hiyo 20 minutes ikiisha tumalize, tuende kwanza tumalize kazi yetu. Politician mtaongea baadaye, otherwise mpange. Unajua sasa imeanza kuwa because matanga imekuwa ni kama ndio pulpit, because it's free. Unajua wakipanganga yao inakuwa expensive kukuja kuweka all the microphones nini, stage na nini, lakini wakipata hii ya matanga yenye imeundwa na ni free, they want to utilize it, so they should not do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Innocent. It's free because mobilization funds have not been used. People brought themselves by themselves at their own expense. But hiyo ingine lazima watume mobilization funds na zitumike kukusanya watu, zikulu hapo katikati ndio wapate congregation ya kuaddress. But it's sad, we need to up the game and do the right thing. Na kama vile umesema, church take charge. If you're in charge of any funeral, let it not take its own nature. You have to run the show. And to run the show means how many politicians do we have? How many MCAs do we have? Then we pick one. One MCA will speak on behalf of MCAs. One governor will speak on behalf of governors. One senator will speak on behalf of senators. One MP will speak on behalf of MPs. Strictly that way you run the show rightly. Lakini ukifungulia eti watu waanze kupiga vita zao za kisiasa hapo katikati, utashindwa kucontrol. Asante. Mwalimu vipi? Karibu.
Asante Bernard. Happy to see you and Innocent. Bado mnashikilia the steering wheel. That is a good thing. I was watching all those clips about the fertilizer. I think, Bernard, me and you, we are not surprised at this unfolding drama. Ruto himself is a con. Unakumbuka when he was fired by Baba? Sijui kama nyinyi mnakumbuka, this man was then fired by Baba in the Kibaki government. Yeah, that is what Ruto is. And while still he's working with Gachagua. So, and does anybody know anything good about Gachagua? Maybe Bernard, you'll help me one of these fine days. Maybe if you dig when he worked for Moi, you try, just tell me something good. Because ukiangalia mara siji watu walikufa Kiambu, mara when people were dying in Molo, he was the guy behind that. And then about land grabbing, I mean, stealing from the county in Nyeri, understand they were stealing from the county with his brother, I think the late brother. So now, these two people combined, and guess whom they have employed? All the looters in Kenya are working in Kenya Kwanza government. So I think what Kenyans should do, stop using the fertilizer. Bernard, as you finish the show, maybe you tell me whether we can do without the fertilizer, because when I was, a long time ago, when I was a small kid, I think my mother used farmware manure, and shamba yetu Bernard ingezalisha viazi kubwa like a baby's head. You know, have you seen those warus from Nyandarua? And my mother, all her life, she had enough food in her store to give, to sell, to donate, all her life. Can Kenyans go back to that, to organic production of crops, and stop messing around with our farms with this fertilizer? After all, it is evident that we're not getting anything good from Kenya now. In fact, let's go back to eating our organic food. That's my take. Do you know that for a long time, Kenyans have eaten very healthy food? Maybe we need now to go back and start eating our organic food and leave this Kenya Kwanza fertilizers and all that. So that's my take. Because there is nothing good that will come out. One of these fine days, mtauziwa unga. Unga yenye si unga. Ni poison. If that is not already been sold in the market. Because that is what this government is. So that's my take. Then, nimeona maneno ya education. I am very sad to see what is happening in education. I think the government intends to bring up an illiterate generation so that they can be worshipping him. But another thing I want to say is that this government, I don't know has the way they spend their money, they have no priorities. Because, as I always say, when Ruto became president and Gachagua, they only went there for one thing, to steal as much as they can, compete the Kenyatta family. That is why we are seeing cases of a president fighting with peasants in Naivasha. Poor peasants in Naivasha over land. Watu wameishi kwa land for a long many years, na sasa wanang'ang'ana na president wa that country. So these people came in to grab. So every money the government is collecting, they are trying to pocket it. So there'll be no money for education. Even those school principals complaining, it's good they are complaining, and the NAT and Kupet, nimeona mpaka Kupet, they should be prepared for us. In fact, let the schools become day schools, Bernard. That is the only way our children will go to school. Okay? Let children go to the nearest schools. So that now the only headache we'll have ni kwamba walimu hawajalipwa. Ama aje Bernard. And the teachers will sort it out with the government. They can go on strike. Yeah? That will be the only headache. If we won't be able to buy uniform, let them allow our children to go to school with home clothes. And then we can give our children heavy breakfast. Sijui kama nyinyi mlikulanga ugali na chai asubuhi na uji. Some of our parents were very intelligent. Kulikuanga na uji ya wimbi to make sure you are healthy, na kaugali karibaki jana na kandizi. Unaweza kaa siku mzima without eating anything and go back home. So that is the next move. I am telling you, Bernard, these people will not finance our schools. And the sad thing is that our universities will collapse and our colleges. Because while we want our students to be day scholars in high schools and primary school, it is not possible to run the universities without financing them. So the end result, by the end of 4 years, we will not have colleges and universities. And by the end of 4 years, we will not have these schools running. We'll have our children going to day schools. That is what will happen to this country. So we expect worse. Now, finally, about Natembea, maybe this one is in your court, Bernard. I don't understand Western Province politics, but I think Natembea is attracting, he's becoming kind of popular. I think he's a guy to watch. I don't think all those other hawks in Western can manage Natembea. But then, why fight in funeral? Can politicians stop going to funerals? And if you have a funeral, can you stop inviting politicians? Ama hao ndio wanachangia hiyo funeral, wanachanga pesa ya kukula. That's why they have to talk all their trash. That's my take, Bernard.
Thank you, Julia. Interesting. Although in Western, funerals are not by invitation.
I know.
Funerals,
In Africa, funerals are not by invitation. Everybody goes. Yeah.
yes, but what happened is that was a wife of a former nominated MCA. So that means is a political family, and that MCA was in Trans Nzoia, and so the governor had to be there in that capacity, and then of course kuhusika katika ya mambo yote. What is out of place is the there is an underground. You remember the issue of Malala talking about tufunge hizi vyama zingine zote tuingie UDA.
Oh,
Remember
yes.
that? Yes. So there is an underground push for decampaigning DAP especially and ODM in Western Kenya by calling them wherever that Wetangula is the kingpin and wherever my DVD are the real leaders, okay, of Western Kenya, which are not. They are not because they are not. It's not that they are made. They are not leaders because they have not been able to deliver in terms of when they had the chance, they did not portray themselves as leaders. They are played in the gallery and destroyed the politics of the ground. And so DAP belongs to Eugene Wamalwa, and Eugene Wamalwa is gaining ground, and Natembea is a DAP governor. So I think Wetangula is threatening Natembea that he's going to put, the former governor of Trans Nzoia was Ford Kenya. Okay,
Yes.
so he's threatening him that he will make sure that in the next election, the Trans Nzoia will be a Ford Kenya zone and not a DAP zone. Now that they are in power, they're going to do everything to replace blue in Western Kenya. And so Natembea, having been a police, an administrative guy in the security docket for many years, and then of course having intelligence, because when PC you have information to the intelligence. It seems that Natembea has intelligence on the chaos, especially in Bungoma and the people behind them, and Wetangula does not miss on that list. And so it's becoming very difficult for Wetangula to do his push because Natembea has a way of preempting it or getting him. And now it's become confrontational, whereby now Natembea cannot sit back and wait for the attack. He has chosen to be the one attacking. So the really issue here is survival. It is Wetangula who is trying to survive kwa sababu anazimishwa na sasa amefanywa speaker. Unajua ilikuwanga rahisi kama yeye ni senator, anarudi nyumbani, anapiga vita za nyumbani, anapiga siasa za nyumbani. So yeye ni speaker, hana senate, he doesn't hold any local seat. Being Bungoma senator made him relevant in local politics. Now that he's national speaker, na hii kitu alijua, he's supposed to know, being a mature politician. Ruto alimtoa kwa useneta amfanye nini? Speaker. Yeye kama party leader angejua Ruto ananimaliza, okay? Akinipatia nini? Speaker aninyang'anye kiti ambayo nimechaguliwa. Okay? But yeye kuwa mjinga akafanya nini? Akakubali kuwa speaker akifikiria ataendelea kuwa speaker na kuendelea party leader. You can't do both roles constitutionally. Two, kina Natembea and Eugene are not going to sit back and look up to you as Baba wa Roma. When ni Baba wa Roma wapi? So it's threatened, and so he's trying to survive, which is too late for me. In my calculation, is too late. The future of Western leadership in terms of politics is with Natembea, is with Eugene, is with Sifuna. Okay, forget this other crop of people. And probably, of course, we can't rule out whatever.
Oparanya.
Okay, Oparanya. So from Oparanya, those are the people who are taken and have a serious following in terms of determining the direction of the Western Kenya politics. Lakini ukitegemea ma DVD ama Wetangula, umepotea, kuna kitu hapo. So this ma DVD and Wetangula, they should just resign, because see, they have already surrendered. They were presidential candidates.
Yeah.
And they are on record, wamesema saa hivi Ruto ako kwa ofisi hawezi kutolewa na atakuwa kwa ofisi mpaka 2032, so hakuna haja ya kufield candidate wa presidential seat. So kama they have already surrendered to challenge Ruto for up to 2032, how old will they be in 2032? Will they be eligible to run?
No.
So hawa ni watu wako absolute, wame expire politically, so they cannot be leaders of the Western Kenya politics. And then of course tuko na ile cannibalization of politics. Kama uwezi kuwashinda, unawamaliza. That's the bad aspect of the Western Kenya politics. Unakumbuka story ya Mskari Kombo kutumia uchawi kumaliza watu. So kuna vile ambavyo kama sasa hawezi, they can't stop the Natembea wave, they can't stop the Eugene wave, they can't stop the Sifuna wave. It pig. Now, like for example, ile poll tulifanya, Sifuna is now, according to his performance, is more of a national leader than even a home leader. And so if Sifuna runs for presidents against Wetangula, Sifuna will get more votes than Wetangula. If Sifuna runs for president against Mudavadi, Sifuna will get more votes than Mudavadi. He has already beaten them.
So I think this Mudavadi, Wetangula, I think generally Kenya Kwanza, people are tired of Kenya Kwanza across the country. Even the Kalenjins may not come out. They may not vote for the other side, but they may not come out to vote for Ruto team. And I am seeing a shift in Mount Kenya region. I didn't think that if somebody just comes out right now to mobilize Mount Kenya, now Ambia, we never ever want to see Gachagua team here. I'm telling you that he'll get support because they are so frustrated. And I think we are waiting for a really interesting scenario in the political arena. I like the Natembea team. I also like Wamalwa. Wamalwa is very sober na akona musimamo. He's the only person, he's one of the only people that decided that they are not buying the NADCO report. I loved his musimamo. He's bringing back the unbogable movement. You remember the unbogable movement? He took it. He got into his brother's shoes nicely. I mean, he has done it, Bernard. I am very pleased with Wamalwa. So I hope they'll work well with ODM. We don't want to see fights between ODM and DAP in Western. And they can work the way they worked the days of Baba and agree on who has a contestant. Or we can just have an open competition and they don't have to fight. So my only worry is ODM. I don't know whether ODM will hold, because as we talk about Oparanya and Sifuna, we also have the likes of Babu, the likes of Joho. I don't know where that puts ODM. Maybe as you wind up, you could comment on that.
The ODM nobody should worry about ODM. ODM is intact. And the ODM leadership it has strong structures. It has strong structures in terms of determining leadership. So we will not have the scattering like everybody is looking at the wherever everybody going with a faction of ODM. It is very difficult to do that. And if somebody is going to walk away, he's going to walk away alone. That is the danger of trying to dismantle ODM. And you have seen that historically. You remember Balala, Ababu Namwamba, Nonok, hao walikuwa vigogo wa ODM, lakini walienda peke yao. So the ODM being fragmented, it's very difficult. In my understanding, especially as long as Baba is still alive and is still, have a say on the leadership. I am sure that he will prevail over anyone. And of course, I think we're anticipating grassroots elections in this April. So those grassroots elections are going to bring in new crop of leaders from the village to the national level. And those new group of leaders are going to have now a say, like Baba has already devolved the issue of elections in ODM. Hakuna story ya certificate kutoka headquarters. Certificate inakuwa kwa county, watu wana vote from the county, and the decision from the county is final. Hakuna mtu anabadilisha kitu yoyote huku juu. So with that, even the strength of the party is really well founded. So nobody should worry about ODM. Secondly, I don't think ODM is so much into building alliances as it goes to the next elections, because the building of alliances seems to be counterproductive, and they feel let down by the alliance they created, especially the Azimio. And so from what I see, there is that revamping of ODM, make it giant and able to stand on its own. If that works, I don't know how that will be, but in my opinion, I would prefer let every political party go into these elections. Then after the outcome, uko na wabunge wangapi, then we can form an alliance of an already won elections or an already wherever won members of parliament. That way, we'll have a healthy competition on the ground, and probably we'll have a better chance of voting for the rightful people instead of voting for the political party or voting for the coalition. Tuko na makabeji mingi kwa parliament sahi kwa sababu hiyo story ya blogs na ile story ya coalition. Kwa sababu mtu ni Azimio, hata kama ni nguruwe imeandikwa tu Azimio, tunaipatia kura kwa sababu ni we are loyal to Azimio, hatutaki kuvote kinyume na nini na Azimio. So we would rather have political parties competing among themselves, and the only thing we need to take care of is the malpractices in the elections. If that is taken care of, hakuna mtu ataogopa kwenda kwa kura peke yake, na hakuna mtu ataogopa kucompete kwa kura. Hii story ya kumanipulate, kuchange na kubadilisha kura ama to take advantage of other candidates by colluding with IEBC is the really problem. If that is sorted, to me, everything will be healthy and grow smoothly. And so Western Kenya doesn't need, and then of course, I think William Ruto, and this is credit to William Ruto, he has worked so hard in giving Kenyans the 2002 moment. If you can analyze what is going on right now, you say the majority of people don't want UDA, don't want William Ruto. That is a scenario that we had in 2002. And 2002 is when we had the most non-tribal elections, okay, that had a president who had the majority of support countrywide. Okay, so whoever that is going to run against William Ruto and forms a good, secure team that will make every Kenyan feel safe is the one going to have the Kibaki moment of 2002 in 2027 if this government lasts to that level. That's what I can see. So even the mobilization of Mount Kenya and the other thing, I think is going to be so spontaneous that it will not even be a following of a person, but it will be a salvation one of the country. And then, of course, we need to feel safe. We need to be secure. 2022 was messed up mainly by the threats in Rift Valley. Remember the threats in Rift Valley, vote this way, ama Mohame. Kila mtu arudi kwao. That had a negative influence on the 2022 voting pattern. But right now, they don't care from what I see. And when that happens, and then we'll have spontaneous free voting of different regions. Ruto anaenda nyumbani asubuhi na mapema.
Yeah, Bernard, they don't care because they were incited against Uhuru and Baba, and good Uhuru and Baba may no longer be in the scene. So who will they be fighting? Okay, even Mount Kenya region, niliambiwa Uhuru ni mbaya, utakuwa akipiga na nani sasa? If Baba will be in the AU and Uhuru is not there, whom will they be fighting? So it will be so easy. In fact, I agree with you. Let us have any coalitions after the election. Let each party work hard. At Nairobi, let me tell you, Nairobi UDA will have an uphill task. First, the Kikuyus are so fed up. They don't want any discussion about Gachagua or Ruto or UDA. So either they'll not come out to vote or they'll come out to vote against anybody in UDA. So we are just good to go. So what we need now is strong people to sell their agendas. And I think this time, the people should tell Kenyans what they want to undo in Ruto's government. They have an opportune moment. Ruto's government is at lowest moment. Hata wewe Bernard, ukianza tu sahi, utaanzia masomo, uende kwa health, hata utamaliza, utakuwa na agenda mingi za kuongelelea. You will be pointing fingers and reminding Kenyans they promise. Hata una play clip. Ruto alisema hivi, hii kitu inafanyika. Ruto alisema hivi it is a walk in the park for any guy who comes out to campaign. So I totally agree with you. Let the parties. Alafu now we will not have parties joyriding on a coalition. Hata kina Kioni, let them go to the grassroots and fight for Jubilee. Let them fight for Jubilee, and tell the Kikuyus why the Mount Kenya why they should need to be in Jubilee. Na kama hawezi, wacha mtu mwingine alete chama chake. That is how I see it. Asante Bernard, I know you're about to close. Hata mimi wacha nitoke. Nimeshukuru.
So thank you. On the issue of fertilizer, I agree with you. Let us, now that there are question marks on the fertilizer, avoid that fertilizer. Especially wakisema iko subsidized na inatoka kwa store ya serikali. Huko ndio ile fake imepelekwa. Kwa hivyo kama wewe ni mkulima na unataka ukuwe na mazao, avoid that fertilizer completely. Just either go and buy the expensive one from the private suppliers and you are sure of it. If you are not sure of it, don't put it in your farm. You are destroying your farm. Secondly, I think we should have agriculture devolved completely and counties to take care of their food security. When that happens, we'll have that now approach whereby even counties should have their fertilizer production. To make fertilizer doesn't need rocket science, and it is not complicated. See, we have farmyard fertilizer. Each county can take care of their refuse and turn it into proper fertilizer, and it is supplied for those counties. So instead of us waiting for fertilizer from the coast, imeletwa kutoka ng'ambo, ikuje Nairobi ndio isambazwe, we can come up like Kakamega County, or now that we have regional blocks, the Lake region block, we have the wherever, the coast region, then we have the central region, then that. Let every region be able to have a factory for their what? Their fertilizer, and be sure of their fertilizer. Also, this fertilizer is not applicable across board. Different soils in different places require different fertilizer in order for it to work harmoniously. So when we devolve agriculture and make sure that the production of fertilizer is related to the counties, it will be easy to solve this thing. And the main problem we have with fertilizer and seed, it has everything to do with the cartels and the people want to make a kill. It is And it's because the government is part of the cartel. In fact, it's the major cartel in this. They're the ones who want to destroy agriculture so that they can bring their maize from Congo and elsewhere and have people to feed on their GMO maize at the expense of their health and the expense of their self-sufficiency. Nchi ambayo haiwezi zalisha chakula kulisha watu wao ni nchi ambayo ishajipeana kwa utumwa. Ndiposa kila mtu anapaswa kuangalia hii kitu kwa kina. Hii sio fertilizer peke yake, hii sio mbegu peke yake. Hii ni swala la mtu kupanga jinsi ya kufanya nchi ikuwe maskini, nchi iwe ya kutegemea nchi zingine, ndio atawale milele, kwa sababu yeye ndio anafanya nini? Anakuwa puppeted by the international community and serves the international community interest. And so Kenyans need to see this for what it is and not the camouflage and the smoke screen that is being provided for by the so-called people in power. And so I support Kila County, take care of the food security of your people. Enter into agreement with counties that produce better. Okay, if Uasin Gishu has more maize and we need more maize in Muranga and there is more potatoes in Nyandarua, let Nyandarua supply potatoes to Uasin Gishu in exchange of what? Maize. And then we do it even without government involvement. We know that we can even determine the prices. Nakumbuka ile enzi kulikuwa kunatangazwa bei ya maembe kwa radio. Okay? Bei ya maembe Mombasa ni shilingi 2, Garissa ni shilingi 3, Kakamega ni shilingi 4. We can determine the prices of these products by reason of making them available in places where they are scarce, so that we control the prices through supply and demand. So this doesn't take rocket science. It's just lazy people who have been given a responsibility to do that they have no idea on how to go about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we must call it a day. I want to really appreciate each one of you for being part and parcel of the Sound Candid Talk communication. We will be linking up later on in the daybreak as we look at the daily bite, the Sunday bite. We're still looking on how to not handle the word of God deceitfully. So tutakutana kwa hayo masafa. Kwa sasa hivi nikipenda tu kuwahimiza, hata kama show imefunga, endelea kushare hiyo video, endelea kukaribisha watu wengi ili wajifunze kutokana na maongezi ambayo tumeongea. Labda kwa haraka tu, the final result of the poll question, tuangalie Wakenya wamesemaje kwa mambo haya ambayo tumeuliza siku ya leo tunapofungasha. Swali lilikuwa, unamwamini CS wa health ambaye anaitwa Nakhumicha that the cartels are behind the doctor strike? Final verdict on Sound Candid Talk Live, 21 people cast their vote. 5% say yes, 95% say no. We don't believe Nakhumicha at all as far as this issue is concerned. Let's check on Sound Candid Talk main channel, how many people voted, how many people liked the video, and what is the final verdict in this particular show on this particular poll question. 42 people liked the video. Thank you so much for responding on the video. I really want to salute you. And then, of course, here is the final verdict. 83 people cast their vote in this particular poll. And here is the final stand. Do you believe, CS Nakhumicha, that cartels are behind the doctors' strike? Well, 18% people think yes, the cartels that are making doctors to strike, but a whooping 82% say no. So the majority of Kenyans believe Nakhumicha is lying to us. The cartels have nothing to do with the doctor strike. It is the government negligence and failure to honor what we are had been agreed on as back as 2017 in the collective bargain. Remember, after the 100-day strike of the doctors. And so it appears that Nakhumicha want to repeat history by trying to undo what was agreed long time ago. And then, of course, that is problematic all through. Hey, mi naona msimamo hapa, mi nafungasha. Usimama wewe, chelewa utakuta mwana sio wako. Vipi lakini?
Pole Bernard. Safi. Pole ndugu yangu kwa kuingia muda hii, lakini hata kama ni sekunde zangu mbili angalau nichangie basi, kama ni kutimka tutimke wote hapa. But
Sawa, Salmia, toa ujumbe wako dakika 3 hivi alafu tufunge.
haya, hata ni nyingi. Kwanza chukua zangu, wale wengine pia ambao pia bado wapo wanatusikiliza, pokeeni zangu. Bwana, mimi sikubaliani na huyu Nakhumicha kwamba kuna makateli, ndiposa huu mgomo unaendelea, maana kuna watu hapa katikati. Unajua njia ya muongo siku zote ni fupi kaka, njia ya muongo ni fupi, na mara nyingi mtu akishindwa hulaumu, huwa na malaumu na manunguniko. Fulani, unajua hangekuwa hivi fulani, na eti kama hakika basi kama si fulani hatungekuwa hivi. Huko ndiko kushindwa. Lakini mtu kwa kweli ambaye ni mjasiri, huwa mkimya na hudhirisha kwa vitendo, kisha madai haswa kila chochote kiovu kikajionyesha kivyake kwamba kumbe huyu bwana alikuwa anafanya hivi, kumbe kulikuwa kuna mazuri kama haya. Hakika huyu mtu wa kulaumu. So wakulaumu ni wale wanaoangalia, wanaotazama. Kama ni mpira basi ndio sisi haswa mashabiki ndio tunaotazama, tuwafaa tulaumu kama ni wakulaumu, si ndani kwa ndani haswa katika uwanja. Maana sisi tulio nje ndio tumenaona haswa, kiasi kwamba hata wengine wanatamani wangepewa hizi nafasi, angalau labda pengine wangefanya vyema vizuri zaidi. Hivyo swala la afya si la kubezi, swala la afya ni la msingi zaidi katika taifa. Na kama litaanza na kuanza malaumu kwamba kuna wengine wako behind ya hivi, kuna wengine wako hivi, sawa, unamwotesha mwenzako kwa kidole kwa kidole kimoja na vingine vyote vinakutazama. So siaminiaje huyu mwanamke, huyu mama huyu anajiita Nakhumicha, simuamini kwa kile anachokusema. Zaidi angetuonyesha ameboresha nini katika hii ngazi yake na hii nafasi aliyopewa. Nini ameboresha, nini amekaa karibu na daktari hadi lakini hatuoni. So mimi sina zaidi ndugu yangu Bernard, cha msingi ni kwamba siamini na sikubaliani kabisa na hiki ambacho anakizungumza, maana haya ndio mafunzo ya baba yao. Ukiona kushindwa laumu, ni mafunzo ya baba yao mdogo ambaye sasa pia ndio amezidi kulaumu zaidi, maana ndio amekuja na hii sera ya kulalamika na kuweza kulaumu. So wa Kenya hatuna haja na kusikiza malaumu kwamba kuna watu wamenilia kati. Before tuambie hawa Cartels umedili nao namna gani, kama kweli hakika ni mtu ambaye, na tuambie hawa Cartels na kina nani na ni hatua gani ambao wameweza kuichukua, ili at least wa Kenya uwe na imani. Tuambie kwamba masuala ya madaktari kuna makatezi wameingilia katikati, hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Kwa hiyo mimi nafikiri kakangu Bernard nisikucheleweshe, na nishukuru pia kwa huo muda na uliweza kunipa angalau hako ka heshima. Nimejisikia faraja. Kwa hiyo nitakwamia pale kakangu Bernard.
Asante dadi. Asante dadi, tutakutana katika hiyo awamu nyingine. Naomba tutafadhali kila mmoja tumakinike. Usisahau kwamba baada ya show watu wengi tu wangependa kusikiliza ni kipi kilijiri wakati walikuwa absent. Kwa hivyo endelea kusukuma hiyo video, share kwa WhatsApp group, share kwa Facebook groups, ili watu wengi waone video hata kama show imeisha. Lakini tungependa pia kuwahimiza, shirikiana nasi, zungumza nasi. Kuna mmoja aliuliza jinsi ya kuingia kwa WhatsApp group. Kuna namba yangu ya simu ambayo unatuma WhatsApp message ya kusema uongezwe kwa Sound Candy Talk WhatsApp chat group, alafu tutakuongeza. So kama wewe hauko kwa WhatsApp group na ungependa kushirikiana na Sound Candid wengine katika WhatsApp kuchat, hii masuala yote tunazungumza hapa huwa inakuwa chat kwa hiyo group kwanza, ndio inaletwa huku. So kama unataka kuingizwa hapo, tumia hiyo namba yangu ya simu +254718454585. Tuma WhatsApp message useme niongeze kwa hiyo group, alafu tutakuongeza. Ama kama ni hivyo tu, kama huna namba yangu basi uniitishe. Okay, uniitisha hapo kwa comment section, nitakutafuta jinsi ya kukupa, ama unipe namba yako, nitakutumia link ya kujoin ile group. And then pia tunahimiza, kama vile ilikuwa suggested jana, all diasporians, wale watu wako katika nchi ambayo inatumika with online payments without problems, please, we need you to be on the support base of this channel by becoming a member and subscribing for at least $5 per month for the next 12 months. If you do that, you will help us a great deal. We need to grow that membership aspect of our channel. When that is well doing, we will not have the need to even be doing fundraising towards the end of the month to be able to sustain the payment of the bills. Otherwise, I really want to salute each one of you. Appreciate you for being part and parcel of this great conversation. Asante sana Ubuntu dada yetu. Asante sana Wairimu. Asante sana kwa kuchangia. Freedom, leo umechelewa lakini nashukuru kwa kuwa ulifika. Asante sana Walenisi. Asante sana kwa kuwa sehemu ya hii. Esther Stoll, tulianza na wewe. Asante sana kwa kuwa mpaka dakika ya mwisho. Joe Ndinda, asante sana. Karibu tena. Of course, African Queen, tumekuwa pamoja all through. Tuni Mhamuda, asante sana. Olele TV, asante sana kwa kujumuika nasi. Na wote ambao umejumuika nasi kwa TikTok, kwa X, kwa WhatsApp, kwa YouTube na Facebook, asanteni sana. Naomba tafadhali tukutane tutakapokutana katika awamu ya kushiriki neno la Mungu mida ya saa 1 asubuhi masaa ya Afrika Mashariki. Kwa hivyo tegea papo hapo, hiyo posta bado iko inaendelea kukuhimiza kwamba kutakuwa na hiyo section ya kushiriki neno la Mungu pamoja. Kwa hivyo usiende mbali, hakikisha kwamba unaambia kila mmoja ili tumakiniki kwa pamoja tunapojifunza mambo mengi tu ambayo inatuhusu sisi na kuboreshwa kwa maisha yetu, and of course kuwa responsible citizen wa nchi yetu. Asante sana.
Talk sasa imeboreshwa zaidi. Kila siku ya wiki asubuhi tunapambazuka na maabudu na sifa kwenye kipindi cha. Baadaye tunakuletea mahojiano ya moja kwa moja kwenye one-on-one show.
Kwanza nianze kwa mtazamo kwamba umeona vile hali ilivyo,
the age that we are living in, so many things are happening.
Alafu nakuletea taarifa zinazojipuka siku hiyo zikiwa ange kwenye in the news headlines. Kisha tunaingia bungeni kutazama wabunge na kusikiliza tuliowaleta kupeleka bungeni iwapo iko imara.
Mr. Speaker,
they should not be given an opportunity to be in those committees.
Who told the people to close the business? Kisha baadaye usiku kuinangana kwenye udadavusi kamili, open forum political show.
Open forum political discussion show.
Fanya akitujue tumepata the right person.
In churches, in funerals, come up and say, oh, it's our turn.
Sasa sound candy check imekamilika.
The Pharisees couldn't stand him, but they found out they couldn't stop him. Pilate couldn't find any fault in him. Herod couldn't kill him. Death couldn't hang him, and the grave couldn't hold him. Yeah!